3 weeks ago, I decided to try and complete FC24's 24's challenge in winning 3 of the worst teams in FC24, the Champions League. One of the teams was Forest Green Rovers, who in the game are England's worst team. Then it was UCD Dublin, who are Europe's worst team in the game. And finally there's Hyderabad FC, the worst team in the game. And naturally you'd think I'd start this challenge by going for the easiest team and then go from there, but if you haven't noticed, I'm not normal. I instead began this challenge with the worst team in FC24, Hyderabad FC. And let me tell you, it went as well as you could imagine. And ladies and gents, I was not joking. This is the starting 11 I have loaded into, and I am not being funny when I say this. This has got to be the worst starting 11 I've seen so far in FC24. I mean, look at some of the players they've got, man. I've legitimately never seen so much red in a squad up before. And even some of their best players are only 58 overall, and the worst thing is some of their best players are actually on loan to us right now, so we can't even use them because we are going to treat this like the new season. However, having been through the squad up, there are maybe 1 or 2 players that we can possibly try and build this team around for the first 3 or 4 seasons at the very least. Like right winger Abdul Rabi, apologies in advance for mispronunciations, it's definitely going to happen, but he's only 22, he's 53 rated, he's not going to become world class by any stretch of the imagination, but we can hopefully turn him into a little bit of a decent player. It's the same story for our attacking midfield, whose name I'm not even going to try and pronounce, but he's the same age and overall as Rabi, so maybe we can turn him into a decent player too. There's also Suresh Singh, who's only 18 but he's 52 overall, definitely not a good rating, but maybe we can get him to 70 rated if we're lucky. But to make matters worse, guys, we've only got 2 million in season 1 to spend. Honestly, I don't know how we're going to do this. I wasn't joking, guys, this is the worst team in FC24 and somehow we've got to turn them into the world's best. But like always, the first thing we're going to do is mess around with the tactics, and I'm going to go for the gear compressing tactical vision because quite frankly this team isn't that old, so they've got the legs for it. As for the formation, I'm actually going to keep it as it is. I'll make adjustments as and when, but right now the 4-2-3-1 wide actually suits this team down to a T. And incredibly, after messing around with this team, this is our strongest starting 11, and that just does not fill me with confidence in the slightest. I mean, for God's sake, our striker's got 51 pace. What in God's name is he going to do up top for us on a level? Well, there's even worse news, guys. We've only got 1 million to spend because it turns out all those players that were on loan to us actually weren't on loan to us, they were on loan away from us, so we've had to bring them back purely because we're treating this like it's the new season, so now we're 1 million down. Now, as you guys know, I don't usually do this, but I'm going through the youth academy and we've been given a few players that we can use already, like Romanian goalkeeper Petru Buser, only 17, 53 rated. I mean, his potential's a little hit and miss, maybe 81, 82, but we can definitely stick him in goal. There's also Ivory Coast winger Coffee, 17, 56 rated, got a very decent potential. He's going straight into the team. There's also Romanian winger Sergio Komen, 15 years old. We can't promote him just yet, but we can definitely stick him on the development plan and hope he gets better. It's just a shame in this youth academy that there's no decent defenders or centre midfielders for that matter, because quite frankly, those are the positions we need more than most. But because the youth academy is coming clutch for us so far, I'm going to spend 680 grand on Dave Jeffrey, a 4-star, 2-star scout. And you know what? We're going to send him to India for 9 months to try and find us defensive-minded players because, as I've just said, we do need defenders and defensive midfielders. But this only leaves us 694 grand, guys, and let's be honest, at this point, we can't really throw that money down the drain. I mean, just look at how bad this team actually is, ladies and gents. As daft as this sounds, that 600k could go a long way. Now, I've already said I want better CDMs and defenders, but I've already got our scout on that for us for the rest of this year, so instead, I'm going to try and bring in a better striker than De Silva. I mean, this guy is just useless, isn't he? He's got 50 odd pace. What is he going to do up top for us? So with that in mind, I've just spent a whopping £160,000 on Mumbai City striker Ayush Chakara. Now look, I know he's not the best striker in the world, but he's only 20, he's 52 rated, and he's actually got a bit of pace about him, and that alone says to me he's going to be a better striker than the one we currently got. But moving on from that, guys, we've got just under £500,000 left to spend spend, and again, I don't really want to throw this money down the drain yet. Now granted, we do have Dave Jeffrey looking for defensive-minded players for 9 months in India, but right now there is one player in our team that's going to let us down in the long run, and that is our current CDM, João Victor. I mean, this guy's 34 years old, God's sake. He might be 68 overall, but I feel like we've got to prepare for the inevitable of when he starts dwindling in overall. I mean, granted, there is Seville Tavora, who's 53 overall, but he's only 27 years old, man. He's got at least 5 years left in his career before he starts dwindling in overall himself. So with this in mind, I've just spent 255,000 on Indian CDM Moirangthan. He's legitimately got the longest name I've ever seen, but he's 20, he's 56 overall. I know that that's not a great rating, but I've genuinely got a really good feeling about this guy. And that finally leaves us with 92k, and even at our point, I don't think that money is going to bring in a player of value. But that's not our transfer window done, guys, because all 4 of these players are up for a loan move, primarily because, quite frankly, there's other players in their positions that I want to get game time over them. But with that being said, guys, that's all I can do in Season 1. This is how we're lined up going into our first year in League 2, and quite frankly, I haven't got very high hopes, I'll be real. Me personally, I feel like it'll be a genuine miracle if we don't finish rock bottom of League 2, man. If we finish 22nd or 23rd, that would be genuinely incredible in my opinion. The only thing I really want to see from this team is improvement. I feel like at the very least that is a little bit realistic. I'd also love to see our scout Dave Jeffrey bring in 1 or 2 really decent players from the youth academy, because if that's the case, we're setting ourselves up for success in Season 3, 4 and 5. Unfortunately, guys, I'm not joking when I say this, we only found one player, Raj Kumar Pal, a 16-year-old CDM who's 51 overall now. Got a half-decent potential, but he's definitely not what we were after. As for our stats, I mean, to be fair, we've actually done a lot better than I thought we would. We've got a couple of strikers gaining on the action. Oh my god, I've just realised Jakara and Joseph Sonny are both the same age. What am I doing? We didn't even need a new striker. Well, I say a few, we've only got one, and that is Coffee, our left winger from Ivory Coast, 61 overall now, but to be fair, that's decent. But that team morale doesn't look good at all to me, man. I definitely feel like we finished rock bottom. If we haven't, I'll be very surprised. And there you go, we are rock bottom by 9 bloody points. To be fair, we won 7 games in total from 46. That's about 3 more than I thought we would. We've also crashed out of the FA Cup in round 2, which is 1 round further than I thought we'd get to. But no surprise, in the Carabao Cup, we make it to round 1 before Barrow knocked us out. And we actually made it out of the group in the BSM trophy. Peterborough battered us in round 2, but that is actually pretty impressive. But truth be told, guys, like I said at the beginning of Season 1, the only thing we should realistically be after is improvement, and whilst we still aren't seeing mega amounts of it, there's still been improvement. But one player we won't be seeing next year is João Victor. This stubborn little git would not renew his contract, and honestly, I am not giving João Victor, a 35-year-old, more than $3 grand a week. Not a chance. All in all, guys, we've got a lot of work to do, man. It's a good job we got 15 years in total in career mode, because I feel like we're going to need all of them to actually make these guys the best in the world. But before we get to Season 2, guys, if you are enjoying this video where I'm rebuilding the worst team in FC24, drop a bit of moral support, guys. Leave this video a big old thumbs up and smash that subscribe button if you're new. Now, guys, here we are in Season 2, and after renewing everybody's contracts and sorting the coaching system out, we've got 3 mil in total to spend, and we can do a lot with that money this year. Primarily, a lot of work for our defensive lineup and our midfield. I was hoping that last year we'd find 1 or 2 really good players, but as we saw, we only found 1, and he's not that good either. And let's be honest, if we are to get from 24th in League 2 to gain outside the relegation zone, we need better defenders, man, because look at the players we've got, man. They're absolutely shocking. So I got right to work on bolstering the strength of our defense by spending 600,000 on Anwar Ali. And to be honest, he looks like a damn good centre-back. Only 23, 61 overall. Granted, he's only 5'10", but this guy could turn into a bit of a beast. And on top of that signing, I just spent a further 320,000 on Chingal Sana Singh. At 27 years old, he's a little more experienced, but he's also 62 rated. I feel like already we've secured our spot outside the relegation zone. But we still got 2 mil left to spend, guys. We definitely can't leave the transfer window there. Especially when we need to bring in a better CDM, which is why I've just spent a whopping £1 million on Christian Mihai. He's a very suitable replacement for João Victor, only 19 and 63 rated already. I feel like this guy's going to turn into a bit of a monster for us in the long run. But truth be told, that transfer, rote or soft, we've got just under $250,000 left to spend, so that's our transfer window done when it comes to signing players. But as for selling and loaning players, we've got a whole bunch of players on the transfer list, so our transfer window is nowhere near done. But looking at the team now, guys, going into Season 2, I definitely feel like those 3 signings we've made are going to help get us from 24th place out of the relegation zone. I mean, I'm really hoping so. Anyway, I do not want to finish rock bottom of League 2 with Hyderabad 2 seasons in a row, man, because after all the work we've been putting into this team so far, it'd be kind of disheartening. But it has to be said, these stats overall look a little bit more promising than they did last year, so we're already off to a better start in my opinion. And judging by the players' improvement, oh my god, we've definitely had a better season. Look at Christian Mihai, for goodness sake, 68 overall at 20 years old. What a signing he's turned into. Then you've got Cheat Coffee, who's 67 rated now, Ali, who's 65 rated. This is looking very goddamn good. And look at the team morale, guys. Everybody's either content or happy. I am praying to God we've actually not finished rock bottom, man. I'd be so gutted if we didn't. Success in Season 2 has been accomplished. We are 18th. We are nowhere near rock bottom in League 2. We are finally out of the relegation zone. Don't get me wrong, we've still got a long way to go before we get out of League 2, but this is definitely a step in the right direction. And we've once again made it to round 2 of the FA Cup before getting knocked out by Sheffield Wednesday. But we got absolutely dismantled by Bradford City in round 1 of the Carabao Cup. But look at this, we're once again in round 2 of the BSM Trophy. Granted, Grimsby Town did knock us out here, but we're doing pretty decent in the BSM competition. It has to be said, guys, we're doing a great job so far with Hyderabad FC. We're taking baby steps each season to becoming better, and eventually we're going to get out of League 2 by doing this. But we have to keep on top of a few things. For example, who our best players are, who our most improved players are, weed out the weak from the strong, and then go from there. But I feel like with us jumping 8 places in the span of 1 season, we can do the exact same next year and hopefully get ourselves into that top 10. And you know what, guys? The board are still backing us. We've been given another $4 million to spend in Season 3. And call me crazy, guys, but I feel like if we spend that money correctly, we can get this team not only into a top 10 position, we may just get a playoff position. Now, the most obvious position we need to improve is our right back position, where Mohamed Rafi plays. He's 24, he's 57 overall, he's not that good, and quite frankly, if we are to try and get the playoffs, we don't need him in the team. And this may be a little controversial, but I'm going to replace our attacking midfielder Ram Hlunj Hunger as well, and let me just show you why. His potential has officially been reached. It'll take him 63 weeks to become a better attacking midfielder, and if we are serious about getting the playoffs, we don't need him in the team either. But this time, guys, I'm pulling absolutely no punches on who I spend this $4 million on. So far, the players we brought into this starting 11 team have done their job and then some. However, the objectives up to this point haven't been that great. But if we are to take Hyderabad from 18th in League 2 to the top 7 in League 2, we've got to be striving to bring in higher quality players now. And that starts by signing Ferenc Rossi, TC's attacking midfielder, Balint Katona. Only 22, 64 overall, and his contract's expiring, meaning we'll get a much cheaper deal. And that is exactly what we got, as we only had to spend $900,000 on him. And following him is right back Liam Bennett from Cambridge United. Only 23, 71 overall. This dude is going to level our defense up and then some. But we very nearly bankrupted ourselves in signing Liam Bennett, as we've just spent a whopping $2.1 million on him. But looking at the starting 11 now, I feel like those signings are going to be worth the money and then some, man. I genuinely feel like this year we've got a shot at getting out of League 2. But having thought about it, if we don't make the playoffs, it's not the end of the world, is it, guys? What would be the end of the world, however, if we finish lower than we did last year, because that would mean whilst we're taking 1 step forwards, we're taking 2 steps backwards. Well, guys, we're at the end of Season 3, and the improvement is once again what we want it to be, man. It's consistently good every single year. But the stats this time aren't that good. Coffee is our top goal scorer with 18 goals, 4 assists in 50 games, man. That just isn't what it needs to be, is it? But the good news is the morale is looking good. A couple of players are happy, but most are content. So hopefully we finish 9th or 8th, maybe even the playoffs. Okay, seriously, do not ask me how we've done this, but we are automatically promoted from League 2. We are officially in League 1 from next year onwards. I can't believe that. I'm not being funny. Our team, for the most part, is decent, but I do not feel like we're ready for League 1 yet. I mean, our striker, our left back, our keeper, our centre back, Singh for that matter, are definitely weak spots in the team. We've got a lot of work to do next year to actually survive League 1. But moving on to the FA Cup, we've once again made it to round 2 before getting knocked out by Wickham. And we once again get knocked out straight away in the Carabao Cup. But this time, guys, we have a shocking performance in the BSM Trophy, getting grouped in Group F. But quite honestly, I am amazed that we've been automatically promoted because, quite frankly, we're not ready for League 1 yet, man. Our team is going to get annihilated if we're not careful. I mean, I know I said our aspirations this year, if possible, were the playoffs, but I never said I wanted promotion, man. That would have just been a good benchmark to work off next year, but we're 1 year early. All I can say, guys, is our budget needs to be a lot better than just 4 million. 5 or 6 million at the very least. Otherwise, we are toast in Season 4. But ladies and gents, whether we have or we haven't, one thing is for definite. Hyderabad FC are officially in League 1. And thankfully, we have been given a little bit more money by the board. 5 million in total. It's not as much as I'd have wanted, but it's definitely better than just 4. And like I said, guys, we've got a lot of work to do. We need a better striker than Sonny. We need a better left back than this guy. We could maybe do with a better keeper, but something is telling me that I should keep with him. I mean, he's still only 20 years old, and as you can see, he's still growing at a pretty quick rate. I reckon we give him this year to see if he grows by 3 or 4, and if he does, we keep him, but if he doesn't, we get rid of him and get somebody better. But with us not getting a new goalie now, I reckon we get a better right winger instead of Rabi. I mean, this guy is 63 overall, 25 years old now. I don't think we're going to get much more out of this guy, so I reckon we go for someone way better. And again, guys, we can't afford to pull any punches now. We've got to make the most of this 5 million to make sure that Hyderabad FC stay in League 1. So I got started straight away by signing Newcastle Jets striker Max Caputo for 1.7 million. And this guy is levels above Sonny, ladies and gents. He's 66 rated at only 20 years old. Something tells me he's going to have a field day in League 1. I've also just spent £2 million on the dot on left back Aske Adelgaard. And this guy is such a good player, man. He's only 22 at 70 overall. I feel like he's going to make a massive difference for us in League 1. But that leaves us with only 950k. And for that amount of money, I don't think we can sign anybody better than our current right winger right now. But I went through the free agent list and I found Marvin de Lima, a French right winger, only 22, 71 overall. He needs to work on his shooting a little bit, but overall for League 1, I reckon he can do a job for us. And just like that, with the signing of de Lima, that's our transfer window done. And you know what, guys? I've got to eat my own words here. I thought for sure League 1 we'd have been absolutely fighting for survival, but I think we're going to thrive. Obviously, our goalkeeper's only 63 overall, and we've got our centre-back Singh, who's a weakness, but aside from those players, the team is actually kind of stacked. But don't get it twisted, I am not expecting anything miraculous. I'm not expecting a promotion or even the playoffs for that matter. I think we can get a mid-table finish if we're lucky. And on top of that, I would like to see a lot of improvement once again. I want this team to keep going from strength to strength, and in order to do that, they need to keep improving. And that is exactly what these guys have done. Look at the improvement in some of these players, man. They don't even belong in League 1 at this point. Half of these guys belong in the Championship. And it's another strong showing from Coffee. 18 and 9 and 55 for him. Caputo had a decent season too. 14 and 5 and 42 for him, growing to 71 rated too. And on top of that, we haven't got a keeper problem at all. Petru Bakor is 69 overall at 21 years old. I feel like he's going to become an absolute monster. And on top of that, everybody's happy, everybody's sharp, everybody looks really good. And truth be told, guys, this team for a League 1 side is exceptional. And we were so close close to a playoff position as well. 1 point outside of the playoffs. I mean, granted, we'd have had to get 2 points to actually be in the top 6 due to goal difference, but guys, we were so close. I'm telling you now, guys, it's only a matter of time before we not only get to the championship, before we're a Premier League side with Hyderabad FC. And we've even made it to round 3 of the FA Cup this time before losing 3-0 to Swansea. We've even this time made it to round 2 of the Carabao Cup as well. And this time we've had an excellent showing in the BSM Trophy. Round 3 before we lost 1-0 to Exeter. Man, to say I'm proud of the boys in this team is an absolute understatement. 4 years ago we were rock bottom of League 2. Now we're almost in a playoff position in League 1. But with so many players improving at a fast rate and consistently doing so, we've now reached the point where we really do have to weed out the weak from the strong. And that means that next year we will be looking for a stronger CDM than Moirang them and a better centre back than Singh. I don't really want to because these pair have been with us since the beginning, but in order to take Hyderabad FC to that next level, this needs to happen. But here we are, guys, in Season 5, and we've got another 5 mil to spend on Hyderabad FC. And I feel like if we play our cards right, we take Hyderabad FC from League 1 to the Championship. And I've already told you guys what I think needs to be done in order to make this happen. A better CDM and centre-back. Once we sorted those positions out, I feel like nothing stops us from getting promotion. So I got right to work in replacing our centre-back with Luka Jaquez, who I spent $2.5 million on. He's in his mid-20s, he's 71 rated, and if you ask me personally, I think he's way too good for League 1, and that just bodes well for us. And just look at that back line now, guys. They do a job in the Championship, never mind League 1. But now we needed a better midfielder, so I spent 2 mil on the dot on Bristol Rovers CDM Camille Conte. Unsure if I've got that pronunciation right, but he's 24, he's got something special, and hopefully we can get the best out of him. And that is our transfer window complete, with the squad looking like this. And I definitely feel like this year we get promotion to the Championship. If we don't, I'll be gobsmacked. Especially now that we signed Luka Jaquez and Camille Conte. I mean, we've improved the positions that needed improving the most, and honestly, now that we've done that, we've got to be one of the favourites to go up now. And if we were, we lived up to that moniker, as we are in the playoffs alongside Stockport, Reading and Huddersfield. And guys, we're in the playoff final after just getting past Reading 3-2 in the semis. We're playing Huddersfield. Now, truth be told, I'm not too sure how good that team is. All I know is our team is pretty damn decent. I mean, look at the state of that team, for goodness sake. We're no longer a League 1 team. We're borderline Premier League at this point. But only if we can get past Huddersfield. And that's exactly what we've done. 2-0 on the night. Caputo once again with a brace. We have beaten Huddersfield. We win the playoffs and we are promoted to the Championship. I'm so happy for the boys, man. It's taken us 5 years, but we are one step closer now to being in the top flight of English football. We've even made it to round 4 of the FA Cup this time, just losing to West Ham. But we still can't get past round 1 of the Carabao Cup. Go bloody figure. As for our final time in the BSM Trophy, we finished rock bottom of our group. That's a fitting way to say goodbye to the BSM competition, isn't it? But man, look at the stats this time. 27 and 12 for Coffee, 25 and 7 for Caputo, 10 and 5 for Katona, and 10 and 12 for Marvin de Lima. I am beyond happy with this team, man. And you know what? I maintain what I said. This team isn't even Championship level at this point. Majority of the players in this team are Premier League level now. But first, we're going to have to get past the Championship. And looking at all of the mid-table teams in this league, that is not going to be an easy task. But hopefully, with us getting promotion and making it quite far in the FA Cup, we'll get a bit more money than 5 million. And hopefully, if everything goes our way, we can actually get back-to-back promotions. Well, here we are, guys, in season number 6 with Hyderabad FC, and we're officially in the Championship, and indeed one good year of football away from the top flight of English football. And for a Championship side, we are absolutely minted. 17 million to spend in season 6. However, you've probably guessed that's not all come from the board. Behind the scenes, guys, I have sold all of these players for quite a big amount of money. Now, some of these players, you may not understand why I've sold them so let me quickly explain. Our goalkeeper's development plan basically told me that he'd reached his potential, so I thought I may as well just cash in on him. And it's the exact same story with our attacking midfielder Balint Katone. And it's the exact same story with Camille Conte, but I don't have to spend money to find his replacement. Because you can remember Raj Kumar Pal, we scouted him in season 1, I've been loaning him out ever since, and look at him now, 20 years old, an exciting prospect, he's got his place in that starting 11. And as you can see from the starting 11, guys, whilst Pal's got his place in it, we've got a lot of work to do to make sure it's ready for the championship, because we basically sold a lot of the quality we had in the starting team. For example, we need a better goalkeeper now, a better centre-back, and certainly a better central attacking midfielder. But not only do we have a lot of money to spend because we sold all the players in the starting team, we've got a lot more opportunities to bring more quality into the team purely because we're now in the championship. And I've taken full advantage of this as I spent 4.5 million on French attacking midfielder Aaron Malouda. He's only 22 and he's 74 rated already, and he's absolutely rapid as well. I've only just noticed that. This guy's going to tear it up in the championship. I've also just spent 5.9 million on Everton centre-back João Muniz. Now this guy is a damn good player, only 23, 75 rated already. To be fair, guys, you could argue he's too good for the championship. And now that we've got our centre-back role sorted and our cam role sorted, we just need a better goalie, and that's our transfer window done. And I might have just found a hidden gem, guys. Alfonso Montero from Casapia AC, only 23 and 73 rated. I know he's not the best keeper in the world, but something tells me he's got a lot of potential, and to be honest, guys, I'm willing to take a gamble on him. And just like that, for 3 mil on the dot, Alfonso Montero now plays for us, and that's our transfer window done. And now that we've got a proper keeper in between the sticks, I've got such a good feeling about our year in the championship, man. I genuinely feel like back-to-back promotions is on the cards. I mean, granted, we went through the league table last year, but when you properly look at who's in the championship, not many teams in this league are going to pose that much of a threat to us. I'm just hoping that Aaron Malouda, João Muniz and Alfonso Montero come in clutch this year, because I've put a lot of faith in these guys and I'm hoping that they deliver. And right now, guys, they may have just delivered as we've just made the playoffs alongside Fulham, Plymouth and Coventry. And the hopes of promotion are still alive after beating Fulham 4-2 in the playoff semi-finals. We're playing Plymouth Argyle in the final. Now again, I'm not too sure how good this team is. I know that Morgan Whittaker and Mumba are absolutely tremendous alongside Cooper, but 3 players don't make a good team. However, you look at our team and let's be real, that right there is a Premier League team waiting to be a Premier League team. We just have to beat Plymouth Argyle to become, and we've done it, ladies and gentlemen. 3-1 on the night. Oh my god, we've done it. Back-to-back promotions via the playoffs both times as well. We've actually done it. I am beyond buzzing, man. It has taken us 6 long years to take Hyderabad FC from literally rock bottom of League 2 to the top flight of English football. Get in. We've also had a decent FA Cup run this time, making it to round 3. But we dropped a stinker in the Carabao Cup as we got knocked out before the competition even begun. But truth be told, guys, considering what we've accomplished this year, these stats aren't really that impressive. I mean, Coffee once again being an absolute baller, 28 and 15 in 50 games. I have to admit that does bring me to a very big decision, because his market value is 153.5 million, and with him being 90 overall, you better believe he's going to get some offers next year. And I've already said this team is good to go for the Premier League, but I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't planning on improving it next year. That 150 odd million could go a long way in doing that. I feel like if I get a transfer offer big enough, I've simply got to take it, man, because I'd be an absolute fool not to, especially now that next year we're going to be competing in the Prem. Well, ladies and gents, we start season 7 with an absolutely massive transfer offer for Coffee, 217 million from Bayer Leverkusen. And truth be told, guys, we've only been given 39 million for our first year in the Premier League anyway, so honestly, I feel like I've got to accept it. I mean, 217 million, that's a lot of money to turn down, and I'm only human after all. Imagine what that money could do to the entire team. But we've just had an even bigger bloody transfer offer from PSG, 242.7 million. Oh my god, well, if I'm accepting 217, I'm definitely accepting that. And he is officially leaving Hyderabad FC. The big question is, who's he going to? Is he going to go to Bayer Leverkusen, or is he going to go to PSG? He's gone to Bayer Leverkusen. Of course, he'd go to the bloody team that offered him less money. But this now means we've got 230 20 million to spend in our first year in the Prem, and let's be completely honest, guys, if we spend this right, we're looking at European football next season. Now, obviously, the first thing we've got to do is find a replacement for Coffee, because this geezer definitely isn't it. And despite us having enough money to sort out majority of this team, there are a couple of positions I do want to leave alone. For example, I don't want Marvin De Lima to go anywhere for now, because it'll only take him 10 weeks to become a better player, and quite honestly, he's still growing at quite a quick rate. There's also Max Caputo as well. Since we signed him 3 years ago, he's grown by 10 ratings. I want to keep this guy and see if we can keep him for the long haul. And I think it goes without saying, Raj Kumar Pal isn't going anywhere at all. And there are a couple of other positions I would like to leave alone. However, our back four and our goalkeeping position is definitely getting improved. But first things first, we need a proper, good and reliable goalkeeper, which is why I forked out 25.8 million on Brazilian keeper Andrew. He's definitely older than our current goalkeeper, but he's 10 ratings higher than him. This one was a no-brainer. But now it was time to focus on our defense, so I spent 40 million big ones on Radu Dragusin. This guy had a pretty impressive Euros with Romania, stands at 6'3", and to be honest, guys, he looks like an absolute beast. As for his centre-back partner, I've just spent 40 million on the dot on Loic Bardet. He's 2 years older than Dragusin, but just as good as him. Ladies and gents, we've got our centre-back partnership. But this now means we need better fullbacks than Bennett and Adelgard. Thankfully, though, we haven't even really scratched the surface of our budget, as we've still got over 110 million to spend. So I'm going to bring in RB Leipzig fullback Fedi Kadioglu, 29, 83 overall, was a very good player in the Euro, so honestly, I want him in our team. And joining him is Ashraf Hakimi from PSG, 30 years old granted, but he's 86 overall, and something tells me signing him may just get us into Europe next season. And that officially wraps up this transfer window, as for the combined total of 96 million, we signed both of these players on 3-year deals. And I'm not being funny, guys, but look at the state of this starting 11. I think we've definitely got a shot to gain European football next year now. Oh my god, I'm an absolute idiot. I've spent so much time focusing on the defense and goalie, I haven't even bought a replacement winger for freaking Coffee. We've literally only got 5 million left. Oh my god, I am the biggest moron on the planet. Guys, I'm heading to the free agents list. I am praying to God that there is somebody here that I can bring into this team. Otherwise, I am screwed. Oh my God, I am lucky. I am one lucky SOB. Francisco Trincao is somehow a goddamn free agent. He's 84 overall at 29 years old. What he's doing as a free agent, I don't know. But one thing is for certain, I am signing this guy up. And there he is in the Hyderabad FC kit. We've just got to convert him to a left winger, and that is job done. Thank God for that. It's safe to say I'm definitely expecting European football next year now, man. Look at the signings that we've made this year. If we don't get it this season, I don't know what more we could have done to get it. Okay, I'm officially gobsmacked. We are only 8th in the Premier League in our first season in it. Now, granted, as a newly promoted side, that's pretty impressive, but given the fact we spent over 200 million, that is absolutely abysmal. I mean, you could say I'm being harsh because we were only 5 points outside the top 4, but still, man, that sucks. We didn't even have a good FA Cup run. Plymouth knocked us out in round 3. But at the very least, Brentford beat the Bottle Jobs in the Carabao Cup, so there is that. But I'm seriously struggling to understand how we haven't made it into the top 6 at the very least, man. Everybody's happy. That's what I can't understand. But now I'm beginning to understand it, because nobody bloody scored, man. Max Caputo was our top goal contributor with only 18 goals in 39 games. I don't know where to go, man. We spent over 200 million on the team. Maybe a change in formation. Maybe we changed the tactics a little bit. One way or another, we've got to figure out what went wrong and solve that issue. But here we are, guys. It's a brand new season with Hyderabad FC, but unfortunately, the board have absolutely shafted us. Only 44 million to spend this year. And given the fact that this team somehow didn't make the top 6 last year, I don't think 40 odd million is going to be enough to actually get us there either. So I'm going to take matters into my own hands by selling Max Caputo this year. He's worth 16.5 million, so maybe we'll get upwards to 20 to 23 million for him. I know that last year he was our top goal scorer, but let's be real, guys. If we are to get top 6 football, we definitely need somebody who's scoring more than what Max Caputo has for us. This one, however, stings a little bit. I am selling Aaron Malouda. I mean, this guy is still pretty young, granted, but his development plan, well, let me just show you. It'll take him 49 weeks to become a better player, man, and right now we can't afford anybody not pulling their weight in the team. And unfortunately, the same thing applies to Christian Mihai. I mean, as you can say it'll take him 42 weeks to become a better CDM, and right now, guys, he's one of the weakest links in the entire team. Granted, he's not worth all that much, 11.5 million in total, but once we sell him, Malouda and Caputo, I reckon we'll have upwards to 90 odd million if we're lucky. And there we go, guys, Max Caputo has officially been sold. That's 1 down, 2 to go. And that didn't take long either. Aaron Malouda's gone now, so that's 2 down, 1 to go. And finally, it is done, guys. We're saying goodbye to Christian Mihai, which means all 3 players I wanted to sell this year have indeed been sold. And we got really good deals for these players, man. Mihai's gone to Bournemouth for 15.8, 26.75 million for Malouda to Arsenal, and Max Caputo, who's gone to Benfica for 24.9 mil too. And on top of tournament money, guys, we've now got 112 million to spend in season 8. Now, we can definitely do some damage with this kind of money. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what we need to do. We need a better CDM, cam, and also striker. So starting with the striker, I've just spent 34.5 million on Mark Guehi. He's 24 now, 81 overall. In real life, I believe he's just transferred to Chelsea, but right now he plays for us. And following in for 23.2 million is Swiss attacking midfielder Fabian Rieder. He's almost 30 years old now, but look at how quick this guy is. When we're hitting teams on the break, this guy is going to be an absolute nightmare to deal with. But this only leaves us with 48 million to spend on a CDM. Luckily, I may have found the player that's going to get us into that top 6 this year. And that is Bayern Munich CDM Pepelu. He's 31 years old now, but he's 85 overall, and his stats are so well-rounded. This guy is absolutely what we're missing in our starting 11. But not no more, as we conclude our business in season 8 as we spend 41 million on Pepelu. And guys, what a goddamn transformation, man. Look at the state of this team. If we somehow miss out on European football in any way, shape or form this year, there's something seriously amiss. We've now brought in a very experienced CDM in Pepelu. We've got a very quick attacking midfielder in Fabian Rieder, and we've got a very good striker in Mark Guehi now. There's no reason why we can't do it. And this is looking promising. Our striker, Mark Guehi, got 26 goal contributions in 41 games for his debut season in the Prem. That's pretty damn good. I mean, De Lima, Hakimi, Rieders, and Trincao stats are something to be desired, but at least we've got a striker up top now who knows exactly where the back of that net is. And on paper, guys, this team is legitimately something else. I am praying to God we've at least got top 6 football, man. This team deserves to play European football next year. Hallelujah, we've finally done it. We were 3 points off actually winning the Premier League title. Liverpool won it with 70 points. Jesus, that's a low point threshold to win the title. But that's not the crazy thing. Look who finished second, Burnley. What in God's carnation are you lot doing there? But whilst we did well in the Prem, we had a stinker in the FA Cup, losing 2-1 to Leicester in round 4. And we only made it to round 3 of the Carabao Cup as well, which is very disappointing in fairness. But looking at the bigger picture, this season has been amazing. We've got Champions League football with Hyderabad FC when 8 years ago they were rock bottom of League 2. In truth be told, guys, I don't really know where to focus our attention on next year in this starting 11. Maybe we don't, and maybe we focus on the bench. I mean, defensively, we are decent when it comes to depth. However, midfield, wingers, and attackers-wise, we're absolutely diabolical. But at the very least, the good news going into next year, because we've now got European football, surely to God, our budget has got to skyrocket, meaning that sorting that problem out won't be a problem at all. But before we find out how much money we're working with this year, I'm doing something that I should have done last season. Instead of using the 4-2-3-1 wide variation, I'm going to use the 4-2-3-1 narrow. This is because our front 4 are all further up the pitch, and therefore I think this may give us a better chance of banging more goals in this season. I mean, last season Mark Guehi did all the work up top by himself pretty much, so hopefully with this new formation change, De Lima, Reed and Trincao can help him out a bit. But moving on to the good news, we've got £102 million to spend on improving this team and getting them ready for the UCL this year. But like I said last year, we don't really need to focus our attention on the starting 11. The bench, however, needs a massive improvement, man. Defensively, like I said last season, we're good. Everywhere else, we're pants. But we've still got to be quite strategic on how we spend this, because whilst we've got over 100 million, that can only take us so far. But thankfully, without spending a penny, I found our backup striker, Mika Bieref, 28, 77 overall. If you know me, guys, you know how much I love this guy, so this is literally a dream transfer for me. I've also just spent $9.5 million on centre defensive midfielder Sammy Braybrook. Now 27 years old, 78 overall. He's not an amazing player by any stretch of the imagination, but he's definitely decent for depth in that midfield. And the bench right now does look pretty decent. We just need a winger to go into it, and I feel like for now at least we're good to go. But instead of buying for the bench, I decided to buy for the starting 11, so I spent $64.6 million on Fatawu. I mean, this guy's a beast. 27, 85 overall, levels above De Lima, man. He can go into the starting 11 and De Lima can take his spot on the bench. And just look at that starting 11 now, man. Honestly, I reckon we do have a half decent chance of winning the Champions League in our first attempt this year. But I can't help but notice there is one position missing on that bench. We haven't got an attacking midfielder anywhere here. And we do still have 20 million to spend, and right now, guys, I don't feel like we're in a position to throw this money down the drain. Fortunately, guys, we don't have to, as I've found German Alvarado from FC Cologne. He's in his mid-20s. He's a decent looking player, and thankfully he's well within our budget. And just like that, for 14 million, we wrap up our transfer window this year, but when one bit of business ends, another begins. As after 9 years of trying, we have finally reached the promised land. We are in Group C in the Champions League alongside Atletico Madrid, Genk, and Shakhtar Donetsk. And not only that, we've had a great start to the new campaign. 3 games played, 3 wins, 3rd place, undefeated. Something tells me we're about to have our most successful year yet with Hyderabad FC. I mean, the starting team is amazing, and so is the bench now too. I mean, we've seen that they're off to a good start in the Premier League, but can these guys keep it going till the very end of the campaign? Unfortunately, the answer to that question is no. We were 7 points away from winning the Premier League this time. Look at the difference in points between ourselves and 3rd place Manchester United, man. That just absolutely blows. The worst thing is as well, if we got this amount of points last year, we'd have won the league by bloody 12 points. What can you do, man? I mean, Manchester City literally only lost 1 game from 38 all year, man. What can you do against that? At the very least, though, they didn't win the FA Cup. Brighton did, and I'm bloody happy about that. But we only made it to round 3 of the Carabao Cup. Great stuff. Moving swiftly on. Thankfully, we've done better in the Champions League as we've topped Group C pretty comfortably in the end. And we're through to the quarters after pretty easily getting past Dynamo Kiev. You've got to be kidding me. We get knocked out by Celtic 5-4 on aggregate. I am low-key losing the will to live here, I'll be real. How do we build the team we've got and lose to Celtic of all teams, man? I could understand Leipzig, PSG, or bloody AC Milan, but Celtic at this point, come on. And that isn't even me being disrespectful. Look at the state of our team right now. You're telling me with a straight face that this team doesn't beat Celtic. You're having a laugh right now. And it looks like the change of formation did indeed work, as Mark Guéhi, Trincao, De Lima, Pepelu, Reader got more goals than last year. Hang on a second though, why is Fatawu getting less goal contributions than bloody De Lima? We spent over 50 million on this guy and he's done worse than the guy we got for free. I honestly don't know what more we could have done this year, man. We've improved our squad depth, we increased the quality in our starting 11, and we still lost to Celtic of all teams, man. Where do we go from here? Is the gegenpress tactical vision the problem with the 43-1 narrow? Do we change it to a wing play tiki-taka? What the hell do we do? All I know, guys, is this. Next year, we've simply got to do better in the Champions League. The Premier League, I'll definitely let slide, because Man City, we're on smoke, but the Champions League, there's no excuse for what happened this year. So, guys, I have indeed taken action. I've sold Francisco Trincao for 73 million and Pepelu for 32.5 million. Trincao was a great addition to the team, considering he came on a free, but right now he's dwindling in overall, and considering we got over 70 mil for him, I consider that a massive dub. As for Pepelu, it's the same story. He's now 33 years old. That rating is going to go down in overall, so I thought I'd cash in on him whilst I still could. And this means we've got a staggering 226 million to spend in our 10th year in charge of Hyderabad FC. And I think if we replace Pepelu and Trincao with world-class talent, we can legitimately win everything this year. We've at least got the money to do it anyway. And I'm putting that money to good use, as our first signing is Spanish youngster Stevan Bajcetic, who I spent 39.4 million on. He's the same quality as Pepelu, just 6 years younger, and I feel like in our team there's definitely a chance he can grow as a player as well. And we've still got 183 million left to spend, and you might be wondering why I cheaped out on Bajcetic when we've got all this money. Well, that's because I'm saving all this money for that left winger I'm replacing Trincao with. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I have just brought back Youth Academy prospect Cheek Coffee for 166.6 million. He's still in his mid-20s, 93 years old, one of the best players in the world at this point, and if we are to win the Champions League, this guy is going to help us do it. Especially when we're in Group E of the Champions League alongside Real Sociedad, Benfica, and RB Salzburg. Truth be told, guys, I feel like this might be the year we do it, man. This might be the year we make Hyderabad FC the world's best club. But it's officially not the year we make them the best team in England, because Arsenal have beaten us to that freaking Premier League title by 4 points. I am so sick and tired of finishing second at this point, man. We are the new bottle jobs. Speaking of the bottle jobs, where are the... Oh my god, they're ninth. Yeah, we're levels above them at the very least. But they've won the FA Cup, so we are moving swiftly on. And we're moving swiftly on to disappointment as we get knocked out of the Carabao Cup in round 3. I'll be real with you lot. So far, this isn't looking good. But it does get better as we are second in Group E in the Champions League and we are once again through to the knockouts. And that is where we quite frankly obliterate Barcelona 6-1 on aggregate. Oh my lord, that's an annihilation. But we only just get past Atalanta in the quarters. We could be playing Bayern, Inter or Leipzig. Oh my god, I don't care who we get. Please do not lose in the semi-finals, Hyderabad. We're in the finals, guys. We're playing Bayern in the final. Oh my god, thank you so much. We've beaten Inter Milan 2-0. I don't care about the fact we're playing Bayern. I'm going to be on top of my game. I'm going to obliterate them. I mean, yes, that team right there is absolutely amazing. Schlotterbeck, Mamardashvili, Trent Alexander-Arnold, the best right back in the world at this point apart from Hakimi, but I do not care. We've got an amazing team as well. I mean, the stats realistically speak for themselves, guys. Kofi, Gui, Fotawu, Hakimi, Reed, Alvarado as well, all banging goals in for fun. And this is the team that got us to the UCL final. Ladies and gentlemen, we are one step closer to making the worst team in world football today the world's best. But you know what? Even if we don't win the Champions League final now, we still got Rajkumar Pal, our Youth Academy prospect, all the way from CS1 to the UCL final. That in its own right is an amazing achievement. But don't get that twisted with me accepting defeat, because I haven't come all this way with Hyderabad FC to choke when it matters the most. We are going into this Champions League final and I'm going to do my best to win it. Bacic is on the ball. We're going to find Hakimi at 33 years old. He's still one of the best right backs in the world. What a ball, and that is nobody's there. Fatou's coming forward now. Bayern Munich are really doing my hang on. We've got a bit of space here. Oh, bloody hell. That's what I mean, man. Every time I get a bit of space, they just block me shot. Here come Bayern Munich, though. That is one of the worst attempts on goal that I've ever seen. Oh my lord. But it's our turn now to attack. Can we spot that run from Coffee? Yes, we can. The 166 million man. Can he strike first? Oh, what a save, Mamardashvili. We're getting a bit between the teeth now. Pal is on the ball. Great tackle. Julian Alvarez is coming forward. Luke Bardet is in chase. Can we get a tackle in? Oh, I misread that completely. Great defending. Still not away though. They're coming forward. Alvarez is on the ball. Great save, Andrew. Oh my days. Fabian Reader on the ball now though. We know how quick he is. Mark Gui is being spotted. He's in behind the defence. Schlotterbeck is in chase. Can we cut inside? Yes, we can. We're going to do it once more. Fabian Reader with a bit of open room. Finally, on the stroke of half-time, we're 1-0 up against Bayern Munich. We are one step closer to making Hyderabad FC the best team in the world. Oh, that came at the right time as well, just before the half-time whistle. Fabian Reader in a bit of open space, and he takes full advantage of it. We're now into the second half. Very evenly contested so far, but we do have Pal. I've just realised how tall he is. Oh my lord, but Fabian Reader's through once again. Can we make it two? What a save, Mamardashvili, saving Bayern Munich's backside again. We do have a good chance here though. Fatawu on the corner. That's a great delivery, and anybody's head on that. What a save again. I know I keep saying what a save, man, but he's legitimately made save after save, and they're all being bloody good. But here's Bacic with another shot, and once again, another great save. We've got to put one of these chances away. Let's have a little dink from distance. Oh my god, Fatawu, what an effort. Bayern Munich coming down the left-hand side pretty quickly now. Hakimi's there. Kratzig inside. Bayern Munich are playing really nice football. I can't keep up with the Musiala. Oh no! What a save, Andrew. That is legitimately just saved our bacon. But Mark Gui has got the ball now. We've got a great opportunity to kill the game dead here. Mark Gui is all on his own. Can we take it round the keeper? I think we're going to. Can we get a shot off? We've missed it. What am I playing at? That was the chance right there to kill the game dead, man. What are we playing at? Oh my god, it doesn't matter. That's the full-time whistle. Our mission is finally complete. We have made Hyderabad FC go from the world's worst team to the world's best. And that is officially the longest rebuild I have ever done. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but that took us literally a decade to do. I am officially going to lie down, man. That took me 2 full days to record, man. I am so happy we've finally done it. And now that I've completed a third of this challenge, it was now time to move on to Europe's worst team in FC 24, UCD Dublin. But surely UCD Dublin couldn't be any worse than Hyderabad FC, right? And I wasn't joking, guys, because this is the starting 11 we've loaded into with UCD Dublin. And granted, it is a bit of a better team than Hyderabad FC, but not by bloody much, let me tell you. I'm still seeing quite a bit of red in our squad up, ladies and gents. I mean, to make these guys the world's best team, we've got a lot of work to do. But unlike Hyderabad FC, this team's average rating is 19, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, they are a college team, so it's going to be a young team, but that really does bode well for us long term, because I've gone through the squad up, guys, and I've noticed 1 or 2 decent players that we can try and build this team around for the next 3 or 4 years at the very least. For example, there's Daniel Babb, a 17-year-old 55 rated right back, actually one of the best players in the entire team right now. There's also Marky Raggett, who's only 19 years old, 54 rated, one of our best strikers. And there's also Sean Brennan, who, if I'm not mistaken, is the only player in this entire team whose status says has got something special, so I'm definitely going to take that at face value. But this is where it gets really stinky, guys. We've only got 839,000 as our budget in season 1. That's just awful, isn't it? If I'm not mistaken, that's actually the worst budget in FC 24. We've got a long way to go before we're winning the Champions League with these guys, but after winning it with Hyderabad FC last Friday, I fully believe in FC 24 that anything is possible now. But first, let's start with the formation changes. I'm going to be rocking the 4-2-2 formation. We've got no central attacking midfielders, but we've got quite a few CDMs, so all we got to do is modify those cams to right wingers and left wingers, and this is sorted. And we're going to be using wing play again, ladies and gents. Our wingers are the strongest players in the team, and we've right now got to play to our strengths. And after meddling with the team a bit, this is, in my opinion, the strongest and highest potential starting 11 we can field right now. Now, you'll have noticed that there's a couple of players playing out of position. I feel like I might have got this formation change wrong, you know. Instead of the 4-2-2, I think instead we use the 4-4-2 flat, because we've actually got better centre midfielders than we've got CDMs. And just like that, guys, everybody's playing in their natural positions, everybody's relatively sharp, everybody's happy. We're good to go for now at the very least. But just like last Friday, before we go any further, I'm looking at our youth academy, and there's actually a couple of players in here we could use. I mean, there's Mexican centre forward German Acosta, only 15 years old, so we can't actually promote him yet, but he's got a very good amount of potential. I actually don't think he's playing in his natural position. I mean, he's got pretty decent pace. I feel like he's more of a winger than he is actually a centre forward, so we're going to convert him to a winger, which will take 2 weeks, and then we'll go from there. There's also Louis Collier. I mean, he's a striker slash centre forward, also 15 years old, but also I don't think he's playing in his natural position either. I'm going to convert him to a left winger and see what happens. As for the rest of these guys, I feel like I'm just going to release them, to be honest. I don't feel like they're going to fit into the team. But with the youth academy all taken care of, that does beg the question, what are we going to do with this actually increased amount of money? 994,000. I don't know how that's bloody happened. The problem we're facing right now is that not one of these players are under the age of like 23 years old, so every single one of them, given enough decent time, will actually grow quite well for their ratings. I mean, granted, dynamic potential isn't going to hit these guys like a truck, but it can definitely work its magic for a little bit at the very least, I reckon. However, maybe investing in a stronger keeper than Kian Moore might be a good move. I know this is ours because he's only 20 years old and he's not going to get a chance, but right now we definitely need a stronger keeper than this guy. I mean, you got to remember, we're not in the Irish League anymore, we're in League 2, and quite frankly, guys, if we haven't got a strong keeper in between the sticks with a poor defence in front of him, he's going to get annihilated. So I've gone ahead and made our one and only signing of season number 1, as I've just spent 600,000 on Connor Kearns. He's in his mid-20s and he's actually a really good goalie for League 2 when you think about it. Having him in between the sticks in season 1 may prevent us from finishing rock bottom. And guys, 2 weeks has officially been passed and Jim Acosta's training to become a right winger is done. Is he going to go up in overall? Oh wow, he's actually gone up by 3 ratings. That's lovely. I mean, it's a shame we can't use him because he's only 15 years old yet, but the second he turns 16 years old, he's getting promoted. Is Lewis Collier going to go up as well though? Oh my god, yes he does. He goes up like a rocket. 7 overall improvement is amazing, guys. We can't use him because he's also 15 years old, but once he's old enough, we'll get him promoted into the senior team. Now, behind the scenes, we've also been training Danny Norris to become a left winger. I mean, if those 2 academy players have just gone up, why not? Let's see what happens. He actually goes up by 1 overall himself. Lovely stuff. But there is one more thing that I do want to do. Behind the scenes, I'll be loading all 4 of these players out just to ensure that the other players in their positions are going to get game time over them unhindered. But right now, that's officially all I can do with UCD Dublin. So this is the team heading into season 1. And truth be told, guys, I've got absolutely no hopes or expectations for what we can achieve. I mean, let's be completely honest with ourselves. We're most likely looking at a rock bottom finish in League 2. If we actually finish any higher than 24th in league, I'll be over the moon with that. I feel like for the first 3 or 4 years at the very least are going to be foundation layering seasons, setting ourselves up for success in the future, weeding out the weak from the strong and then going from there. So with that being said, I want to see overall massive improvements. I want to see who the types of players are that I've got to get rid of next year, and I want to see who the types of players are that I can maybe carry until the championship. And I've got to be honest, season 1 is looking like a success. Everybody, and I mean everybody, is shot up by at least 3 overalls, man. Do you know how mad that is? Whether or not these guys will keep going like this next year is something we're going to have to figure out next year. But for now, at least, we can definitely say we've got a talented bunch of lads on our hands here. And you know what, guys? I stand by what I said. Look at these stats for UCD Dublin. 15-8 for Kinsella Bishop, 14-4 for Raggett, 13-5 for Bayhen, and 10-4 for Jake Dole off the bench. Call me crazy, call me biased, but this team isn't that bad in the slightest. Obviously, we need a lot of work doing to it still. We need to improve certain areas of the pitch, but right now, this is a great step in the right direction. The question is, though, where have we finished? Because I've got a very strong suspicion that we're nowhere near the bottom 3. And I was right, you know, we're actually not far off the playoffs. Oh my god, I cannot believe that. I mean, I know I said we were nowhere near the bottom 3, but I did not expect us to be only 3 spots below the playoffs, man. That is something I thought we wouldn't even get to until season 3, but we're already almost there. Well, the FA Cup went as well as you can imagine. We got knocked out by Newport in round 2. We also got knocked out in round 1 of the Carabao Cup by Notts County. And we finished rock bottom in the BSM competition. Honestly, I'd expect nothing less right now. But I've got to say, season 1 went a lot better, and I mean a lot better than I originally thought. Obviously, this is one of the worst teams in FC24, but right now we've got them a top 10 finish in League 2. I don't think they're the worst team in FC24 anymore. But it's like I said before we went into the campaign this year, we need to figure out the weak from the strong next season. We need to figure out who we can build this team around, and we need to figure out who we need to get rid of. Because as soon as we figure that out, guys, we take this UCD Dublin team one step closer to getting promoted and getting out of League 2. But before we go any further, if you enjoy me rebuilding the worst team in Europe right now, consider leaving this video a big old thumbs up and smash that subscribe button if you're new. Now here we are, guys, we just arrived into season 2 and I completely forgot to update you guys about our youth academy prospects. And Jim Acosta is now 64 rated with a better potential than Collier. Honestly, I feel like he can go straight into that starting 11 now. I mean, our current right winger Bayhen is literally 7 years older than this guy and 3 ratings lower. This one's literally a no-brainer. I'm going to send him out on loan and put Acosta in the starting 11. And there he is in the starting 11, ladies and gents. Something tells me Acosta's going to have an absolutely insane season this year. And it's more good news, guys, as we've got 2 million in total to spend in season 2. And honestly, if we spend this correctly on the right players in the right positions, we could creep into the playoffs. And I think the first place player we should replace is Adam Verdon. I mean, he submitted a transfer request anyway. I don't really know why, but that's just coincidentally good news because I'm going to replace him anyway. And I also think a stronger centre-back than Bowden is the route to go down as well, especially if we are serious about trying to get a promotion spot this time. But after searching for a centre-mid for a while, I found Kieran Gilligan, only 22. He's a very good centre-mid, especially for League 2, guys. He's going to level our team up and then some. And I also spotted Stephen Negru from Oxford United, only 21, and he'd already be our strongest defender if we sign him. That alone explains why we should sign him. But I didn't just sign Stephen Negru, I spent a whopping 1.15 million combined to sign Kieran Gilligan and Stephen Negru. And just look at how strong we're looking now going into Season 2 with Negru and Gilligan in the team. Now, ironically, I know that the word strong is a strong word to use with the current team we've got, but when you consider where we've come from, we are looking really good. But I'm not sure if we're going to get the playoffs this year, man. I don't know if last year was a fluke or not. It might be, it might not be. Who knows? I guess we're going to have to wait till the end of Season 2 to find out. Well, that's where we've just arrived at, guys, and Raggett looks like he carried the boat this year. 19 goals and 6 assists. And what did I tell you guys about this guy? He turned out to be pretty damn good. And on top of that, the players are still, for the most part, improving at quite a fast pace. And this is exactly what we're after whilst we're in League 2, to be fair. I mean, look at Louis Collier, for example. 9 overall growth in 1 year out on loan. Oh my freaking god. We can legit bring him back and slot him straight into the starting 11 if we wanted to. And you know what, guys? Looking at this team, looking at the morale and how sharp everybody is, I actually reckon we've got a playoff spot. But I was wrong. I was completely freaking wrong, guys. We are once again exactly where we were last year, 10th in League 2. I mean, it's definitely better than the latter, finishing lower to mid-table, for example, but we've improved the team and still finished exactly where we were last year when we were a weaker team. That, to me, isn't good news. As for the FA Cup, it's as you'd expect once again, we got knocked out in round 1 by Colchester. But this time we made it to round 2 of the Carabao Cup before getting knocked out by MK Dons on pens. But surprise, surprise, we once again finished rock bottom of the BSM competition. Go bloody figure. But coming back to the team for a sec, I can't believe we only managed to do what we did last year with a much stronger team. Honestly, guys, that is worrying for me because it shows that even though we've improved the team, we're not really doing that much better on the pitch. I mean, I don't want to change this formation because right now it suits every player in this starting team down to a T. Maybe we change the tactics instead. Maybe the wing play tactical vision isn't the best partnered up with a 4-4-2 formation, for example. One way or another though, guys, we've got to figure out where we're going wrong with this team because it is far better than just 10th in League 2. But we've got bigger problems in the new season, guys. We've only got 1 million in our budget to spend. I know it's UCD Dublin, but come on. What on earth am I supposed to do with 1 million to improve this team? We need a bit bloody more. So I've taken it upon myself to go through the squad up to find players that I don't really use or want anymore. And hopefully after selling all these players, we'll have a decent chunk of money to spend in Season 3. Now, ladies and gents, as you can see, I've been a little bit busy. I've managed to sell pretty much every single player I put on that transfer list. Not for a great deal of money individually, but altogether, it's actually come to quite a decent amount. We've now got over 2 million to spend. And if I'm being completely honest, I fully intend to use this money with the hopes of getting us promotion in Season 3. And I'm going to spend this money on a stronger centre mid than Higgins and a better centre back than Clancy. These are the weakest links in our team by a country mile, and once we sort this out, I don't see what stops us from getting automatic promotion. And I wasted no time in signing a stronger centre back as I've just spent 670,000 on Luke Turner. He's still very young and a very strong centre back, especially for League 2. Honestly, we are one step closer to that promotion we're after. But I think promotion will be secure once we sign Baba Adiko from Wigan Athletic. Only 22, 66 overall. He's legitimately going to tear it up in League 2. And you guessed it, that wraps up our transfer windows. We spent 1.1 million on Baba Adiko. But there is one more thing I'm going to do, and that is bring Louis Collier back off his loan from Victoria Colne. I mean, he's a much better player than our current left winger, so this one's just common sense. And I'm not being funny, but looking at this team right now, if we do not somehow get promotion to League 1 this season, I'm going to absolutely lose my head. I've got to say though, these stats aren't filling me with confidence, guys. Raggett got 16 goal contributions, 12 for Acosta and Doyle, 9 and 5 for Collier, and 7 and 2 for Danny Norris. I mean, the team on paper does look fantastic and everybody's happy, which does look good, but I just don't feel like those stats are promotion worthy, if that makes sense. But then again, what do I know? We're officially a League 1 one side after finishing 3rd in League 2. It's about goddamn time as well. I was honestly beginning to think it was never going to happen, man. We spent 3 years in League 2, but finally on the 3rd attempt we got out of League 2. But we're still absolutely shocking in the FA Cup as Sutton knock us out in round 1. In Mansfield have knocked us out of the Carabao Cup in round 2. But we actually made it out of the group stage of the BSM trophy this time. We made it to round 2 before Oxford knocked us out. I'm so happy we've finally done it, man. That's only step 1, remember. We've got to win the bloody Champions League with this lot yet. But I feel like going into next year, we've got to build this team around Acosta and Collier. I mean, they're our best players, for goodness sake. And in a 4-4-2, I don't feel like we're going to get the best out of them. I mean, look how far back and how wide on the pitch these both are, man. These are our best attackers that we've actually got. We've got to find a formation next year that suits these guys and gets the best out of them. But one thing in Season 4 I am hoping for is that with us getting promoted automatically from League 2, we get a hefty increase in our budget to work with in League 1. But unfortunately, ladies and gents, it simply hasn't happened. We've got 2 million to spend in our first year in League 1. I mean, I don't know why I was expecting more than that. It's a freaking college, for God's sake. To be fair though, I feel like this team, without making any signings anyway, would do quite decent in League 1, but that's not what I want. I want back-to-back promotions if possible. But I did say I was going to change the formation to suit Acosta and Collier a bit more, so I'm going to go really risky. I'm going to go 4-2-4 formation. I've never used this, but I love how attacking it is. We've got 2 strikers, 2 wingers, 2 centre midfielders. Honestly, I reckon it's worth a go for at least 1 year to see how we do with it. I mean, as you can see from the team itself, it's not like anybody's playing out of position. We just need Gilligan and Adiko to be on form when it comes to being really good box-to-box midfielders. But that does bring us to our budget. What are we going to do with this £2 million? Because quite frankly, I'm not going to throw this down the drain, am I? Now, after giving it some thought, I'm thinking of replacing Gilligan in the midfield. With them being so isolated in the centre of the park, we need really good players there, and Gilligan just isn't up to the task, I don't think. I'm also replacing Danu, Kinsella, Bishop up top. I mean, Raggett is actually killing it up, banging goals in for fun, but Bishop, not so much. So with that in mind, I went looking for a better striker, and I found one in Callum Kavanagh for 1.7 million. I mean, he's a much younger striker and better one at that, ladies and gents. I feel like we've absolutely made the right decision. But then again, maybe not. We've only got 400k left to find ourselves a better centre midfielder. I really didn't think that one through, did I? Luckily though, I found Joe Hodge hiding in that free agents list, only 23 and he's 6'9 overall. And he's also Irish, which is also a massive bonus. If you haven't noticed, by the way, that's exactly what I'm trying to do, sign as many Irish players as possible and build a core team of Irish talent. And just like that, with the signing of Joe Hodge, that concludes our business for Season 4. And truth be told, I am loving the looks of this team. Now, I get that it's a really big risk, changing the formation to one that really exposes us on the break, but I feel like it's going to work. I mean, I've tried to build this team around German Acosta and Luis Collier to suit them the best, and honestly, with 2 strikers up top with them, I really do feel like we're playing to their strengths here. And the team is the best it's ever looked, especially after signing Joe Hodge for the centre midfielder role and also bringing in a much stronger striker in Callum Kavanagh. I could be very wrong in saying this, but honestly, I actually feel like back-to-back promotions isn't exactly a far-fetched idea. Okay guys, I was wrong. I was very wrong. We're 14th in League 1. For a newly promoted side though, that's pretty decent. But I'll tell you what isn't decent. We conceded the second highest amount of goals this year. Who conceded the highest amount of goals, I hear you ask? Well, let me just show you. Rock bottom of the league, Notts County. And we didn't even score them many goals either. Honestly, that formation change may have really bitten us in the backside. But to be fair, this time we did make it to round 3 of the FA Cup. But we once again get knocked out in round 1 of the Carabao Cup by none other than MK Dons. And we once again make it to round 2 of the BSM trophy. But oh my god, look at the morale of this team. That is absolutely horrifying to witness. I mean, our front 4 and midfield are just unhappy, but our back line, oh my god, they are not happy in the slightest. And to make matters worse, these stats are shocking, man. 14-1 for our new signing Kavanagh, 12-1 for Collier, 8-2 for Raggett. I mean, that's just embarrassing. I honestly thought this formation was going to work. Our front 4 or at the very least should have bagged way more goals. But considering the fact we conceded the second highest amount of goals, we've definitely got to switch it up next year. Otherwise, we actually face doing worse than we did this year in League One. So as we enter the new season, I've been very busy switching things up. I've gone ahead and sold quite a few players, not for amazing amounts of money, but overall a decent amount, which gives us £4 million in total to spend on improving UCD Dublin to the point where we can fight for promotion. But we're not going to be using the 4-2-4 anymore. No, ladies and gents, we're going to be using the 4-3-3 attacking variation, and honestly, this is what I should have done to begin with. Collier and Acosta are still very high up the pitch, meaning they'll be involved in every single attack we have, and there's also a much bigger balance in this midfield now. The only issue is we don't have an attacking midfielder, which is where Zach Gilsenin comes into play. He's 24, he's 73 overall, and the best part about this guy is contract's running out, meaning we'll get a much cheaper deal. And that's exactly what we managed to get, is we only had to spend 2.6 million on him. And until we reach the championship now, I feel like we're in a position where we can leave our midfield trio and front three alone now. But I do want to improve our defense a bit more, man. I mean, last year we conceded the second highest amount of goals in the entire league. I mean, I don't care what formation we're rocking with, that's just not good enough. So with that in mind, I just spent 1.2 million on Senegalese centre-back Bambo Diaby. He's almost 30 years old, he's 70 overall, and he'll give us that much needed experience that we actually need in this starting 11 to actually get from League One to the Championship. And to be honest, looking at the starting 11, I do feel like right now we are too good for League One. I feel like this is the year we get another promotion. But failing that, at the very least, we've got to do better than last year, because if we don't, that just proves one thing, that the problem wasn't the formation. And if the problem wasn't the formation, then I'm clueless to what's wrong with this squad. But looking at these stats at the end of the season, I think the formation was the issue, man. Collier was on smoke, for God's sake, and Raga was too, to be fair. And look at Zach Gilson getting 15 assists from that cam roll. Yet the 4-3-3 attacking variation is the formation we're sticking with now. But it's all well and good, the stats looking decent. Have we done enough to get promoted? Maybe, guys, maybe we have. We're in the playoffs alongside Lincoln City, Birmingham City, and Sheffield Wednesday. But when you take a closer look at the table, we were literally 4 points away from automatic promotion. If we lose in the playoffs, I'm going to be absolutely gutted. But there's still hope for promotion, as we battered Birmingham City 4-2 in aggregate. We're playing Sheffield Wednesday in the final. They're rocking a 5 at the back formation. I really don't know what to make of that team, man. I'm praying to God we've got enough in the tank to actually beat these guys. I mean, I feel like we're a championship side waiting to be one, but we've got to beat Sheffield Wednesday first. Oh my God, they've done it. In the 65th minute, Gassama wins them the playoff final. We're still going to be playing League One football after 5 freaking years. Scrap all my other video ideas, man. I'm going to be recording this till freaking FC 25 comes out at this rate. But look at this. We smashed it in the FA Cup, making it to round 4. But then we did only make it to round 2 of the Carabao Cup. And we once again make it to round 2 of the BSM trophy as well. I still feel like this team was good enough to do it this year. We just got unlucky at the last hurdle. However, next year we can ill afford to take any chances. We've got to look through all of our players, figure out which ones that we don't want, sell them on, get as much money as possible, and then flood this team with absolute talent, and hopefully that'll be enough to get into the Championship. And as we enter season 6 with UCD Dublin, I'm halfway there on actually doing that. I've started by selling all the players that realistically I don't want or need in the team anymore, which gives us 9 million in total. So now that we sold all the players that we don't want, now it's time to flood this team with talent and hope that that's enough to get us promotion. And as you can see from the team, it's pretty obvious where we do need to put that money. Our defense. I've basically sold our entire back lineup apart from Negru and Kearns. Those two are the only ones I felt actually deserve to be there still. But even though we've got our highest budget to work with, yeah, it's still not amazing money, is it, guys? We've got to make sure that we make every transfer count. And I think we're off to a great start, as I've just spent 2.2 million on Stoke City right back junior Tushimeidu. He's in his mid-20s and he's 72 overall. Frankly, guys, he's a championship level defender, so you can imagine how well he's going to do in League One. I've also spotted Alex Moreno Paz for that centre-back role in his mid-20s, just like Tushimeidu, but he's 73 overall and his contract's running out, meaning we'll get a much cheaper deal. And following game is James Furlong from Hull City, 26, 72 rated, and I've just this second realised he's Irish. That's a really happy accident. And just like that, our transfer window is done, as for the combined grand total of 5 million. We signed both of these players on 4-year deals. Now, this team in front of us is a championship side stuck in League One. I don't care what anybody says. The fact that we're still in League One right now is concerning. The worst thing is we've got players like Collier and Acosta who, quite frankly, are getting their careers wasted down in League One, but we realistically can't sell these guys yet, even if we wanted to. This has to be our year to get promotion, man. If it's not, we are in genuine trouble. Oh, thank God for that. We've finally freaking done it. We've escaped League One. We are one step closer to getting to the top flight of English football. Oh my God, I cannot believe it's taken us 6 years to get 2 promotions. UCD Dublin, you're taking the mitt, lads. But despite our success in League One, we've had a stinker in the FA Cup, as you can see. But we did make it to round 3 of the Carabao Cup. And we made it to round 3 of the BSM trophy. That's officially our last chance to win this trophy, but honestly, I couldn't care less about it right now. Because this team in front of us are finally in the championship. And truth be told, guys, with the team this strong going into the championship, we've got a chance of back-to-back promotions if we get our transfers right next year. But looking at the stats, it's safe to say we can leave our front 3 alone for the time being. I mean, Collier got 24 and 4, 23 and 3 for Raggett, and 18 and 9 for Acosta. It's going to be tough in the championship. It is definitely not going to be easy, but I swear to God, guys, with the team we've got, we absolutely have the potential to get back-to-back promotions. I mean, when you properly think about it, there's only 3 players in this entire starting 11 who aren't Premier League ready yet. The rest actually are. I'm just hoping that the budget's on our side next year, because if it is, I'm telling you now, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure we get promotion straight away. And here we are, guys, in Season 7, and thankfully, we're no longer looking at a League One table. We are officially in the Championship. And finally, we're getting a bit more money as well. 12 million in total, and I'm telling you now, I can make this money work. Now, looking at this team, I definitely feel like leaving it alone, they could do the job by themselves, but I'm definitely not taking that chance. I feel like our captain's time in the starting 11 is up, Adiko's time is up also in the starting 11, and I'm also going to look on the free agents list to see if I can find a couple of players for a bit of depth. But what we've got to remember, guys, this is our highest budget yet, man. If we are serious about promotion, we've got to make sure every penny spent absolutely counts. And I feel like we're off to a great start in making that happen, as I've just spent 8 million on centre-back Lucas Perry. He might be 30 years old, but he's levels above every other defender in the team, and I feel like he's definitely going to help us get promotion this year. But guys, I've kind of overspent. We've only got 3 million left to spend, so I feel like if we are to sign any more players, they've got to be free agents. But I've been through the free agents list and I found Leonardo Benedetti, a 29-year-old centre midfielder who's 76 overall. And I found Scott Twine, who's 30 years old himself, but he's 76 overall. Would be very good for squad depth. Honestly, God bless the free agents list, because they have bailed me out and then some in this video so far. And there we go, after signing both of these players for absolutely nothing. That's our first transfer window done in the Championship. And hopefully it's going to be our last transfer window in the Championship, because in my opinion, this team is absolutely ready for the Prem. And truth be told, having gone through the Championship table, I feel like this is absolutely our best chance to get automatically promoted, because quite frankly, there's no real threats in this league now. But I've done all I can, ladies and gents. It's now up to these boys to do it on the pitch and get us to the Prem. And whilst we haven't automatically done it, there may still be a chance. We're in the playoffs alongside Watford, Sheffield United and Sunderland. But I'm not getting my hopes up, guys, because if you remember from the last playoffs, we didn't exactly have a happy ending, did we? But the boys are getting me hopes up. We've beaten the Blades 2-1 in the freaking semis. We've just got to beat Sunderland and we're promoted. And I wish I could tell you I know how good that team actually is, but truth be told, I haven't got a Scooby freaking do. All I know is we've got a phenomenal team for the Championship, and surely to God, our time to get promoted to the Prem is now. Thank God for that! We finally freaking done it! It has taken us 7 or 8 years. We have gone from the bottom of English football to the top at long freaking last, man. We're one step closer to making this team the best in the world. I am so relieved we've actually done it, man. I'm not being funny. If this team didn't get promotion this year, this controller would have been launched out the window. And guys, our form in the league carried over to the FA Cup as we made it to round 3. But we got stopped in round 2 of the Carabao Cup by Aston Villa. But looking at these stats, guys, I'm really not not surprised we got promoted. All of our front four individually bagged at least 20 goals, man. That's insane. The only issue is next year, if we don't get a decent budget to work with, we may have to sell either Collier or Acosta. And truth be told, I really don't want to do that. I mean, these guys are legit the best players we've got by a country mile. They've been with us since season 1 and they've carried us from League 2 to the Premier League. But we're not going to be playing against your Stoke Cities or your Wrexhams now. We're going to be playing against Man United, Arsenal and Manchester City. So if the board don't back us, we've got to take matters into our own hands. Well, here we are, guys. It's taken us 8 years, but we're finally in the promised land. One small step for Man, one giant leap for UCD Dublin. But apparently the board forgot that freaking memo. We've got 32 million and 32 million alone to spend this year. I don't think that's enough, man. We're actually going to have to sell one of our academy players, aren't we? And it's going to be Acosta that I actually sell, and that's for 2 reasons. One, he doesn't actually score as many goals for us as Collier does, and actually he's worth 4 million more, so it makes sense to get the most money out of the deal, doesn't it? And it didn't take long to get transfer offers. Roma want to give us 80 mil alongside Santiago Lopez, and Man U want to give us 74 mil alongside Ezekiel Palacios. But we can get between 110 and 162 million, and believe me, I'm not accepting a penny under 140. But out of the 2 teams, I'm gonna negotiate with Roma. I don't feel like it's the best idea in the world to negotiate with a fallow Premier League side with one of your best players. But we're not having any other player in this deal. I want to see if I can get 150 mil. Are they going to go for it? No, they want to give us Felix and Mecca and 85 million. Felix and Mecca is a ball, you know, but I don't really want him. To be honest, I don't want any players as part of this deal. I just want straight cash. I want to get at least 140 mil, so I'm going to try and get 145 mil this time. Are they going to accept this? No, they want to try and give us more money alongside Felix and Mecca. I tell you what, if they'll give us 110 alongside Felix and Mecca, I'll actually accept this offer. The offer's been made. 110 alongside Felix and Mecca, 101.5. Come on, play ball. 105 mil, and I'll actually accept it. I've changed my mind. And they've accepted it, guys. We've actually got a very good midfielder alongside 105 million. And there's Felix and Mecca, ladies and gents. The deal has gone through. We have just sold Acosta. And now we've got 122 million to spend. That's just a little bit better than 32 mil, isn't it? And truth be told, I feel like we put it all into our defense. Our midfield trio in front 3 aren't all that bad, ladies and gents, but our defense, if we are to do pretty decent in our first season in the Prem, definitely needs sorting out. So I started back to front by spending 30 million on Tottenham Hotspur goalkeeper Matteo Manson. He's 30 years old, but he's 84 overall, and truth be told, we need somebody of his quality in between the sticks, especially considering we're new to the Premier League. But working our way up the pitch now, I'm going for Nathan Collins for our centre-back. He's almost 30 years old, but he's 82 rated, and more importantly, he's Irish, guys. Obviously, I was going to sign him. And following game is Brentford centre-back Luca Bentley, only 20, 79 overall. He's obviously a regen of someone, but I don't care. He looks like a beast, and I want him in the team. And for the combined total of 51 million, we've got ourselves a brand new centre-back partnership. But we've gone overboard once again on the spending. We've only got 32 million to spend now on 2 brand new fullbacks. And despite our defense looking pretty damn decent, we do need new fullbacks. Otherwise, I do feel like the defense is going to get absolutely battered. Luckily, there's Terrell Malassi, who's 30 years old now, granted, but he's 82 overall. He's got Premier League experience and his contract's running out, and we all know what that means. And I've managed to find a free agent called Nico Frank, only 20, but he's 75 overall. I'm half tempted to send our current right back out on loan and just give him a go in the starting 11. And after spending 20 mil combined on both of these players, that officially wraps up our first transfer window in the Prem. And you know what? I think we've done pretty well, guys. We've got a very good keeper now. Our back four sorted. We've bossed our midfield with a Mecca, and Scott Twine's gone into Acosta's place, which isn't that bad in the grand scheme of things. I mean, we're definitely going to miss Acosta, don't get it twisted, but Scott Twine for now can at least do a semi-decent job. I'm really hoping so anyway, guys, because after all the hard work we've done to get UCD Dublin to the Premier League, I swear to God, if I see UCD Dublin in the bottom 3 like we are now at the end of this season, I'm going to lose my head. But for now at least, guys, my head's staying exactly where it is. We're just outside the top 10, and honestly, guys, I feel that's a great start. I mean, we're only 14 points outside the top 6, so providing we have a little bit more money to work with next year from the board, we could probably make this work if we make the right signings. points. And on top of our Premier League finish, we've made it to round 5 of the FA Cup this time. But we've had a stinker in the Carabao Cup. But when you look at the team, everybody's happy, everybody's sharp. There's only a couple of positions we realistically need to focus on next year to take us to that next level. Honestly, everything is looking fantastic for UCD Dublin. I mean, Raggett's had a really good year. 24-1 for him, 17-7 for Collier, 11-4 for Emeka. Fair play to him from the centre mid role. That's really good. But I'll maintain what I said, guys. If we get the money next year from the board, we can easily take this team to the top 6 next season. But if we don't get that money, guys, Collier may have to be sold in order to take us to that next level. I mean, his market value is 101 mil, so we can easily get 180 for him, I reckon. I really hope it doesn't come to that because he's a world-class player, but we've all seen what that kind of money can do to a team in the span of 12 months. So if it does come to that, honestly, it is what it is at this point. Well, guys, we're now into season 9 with UCD Dublin, and all I can say is that board must really not like me because we've only been given 31 million, and we all know what that means now. Louis Collier is officially getting sold, ladies and gents. It is a humongous freaking shame, but for the good of the team, this is what we've got to do. And it took less than a week, but Marseille have offered 130.7 mil, but we can get upwards to 160. I better believe I'm negotiating this. I mean, if they've already offered 130, they're definitely going to offer big money. Let's go for 155 million. They're sticking to the guns, 130.7 with a sell-on clause. Okay, let's go for 150 million flat. They're still not budging. I don't feel like I want to sell him for that kind of money. I feel like a player who's 23 years old and 88 overall should at least be going for 150. So we are going to reject the bodiless Marseille manager and hold out for a better offer. And guys, it turns out waiting for a better offer paid off because we got the exact amount of money that we were after, and you'll never guess where he's actually off to. Louis Collier is off to Wolves for 150.7 mil, ladies and gents. Right now, we are actually minted because we've now got 171 million to spend. Guys, I feel like if we can get this right, we've got European football next year no matter what. But what we do need is a better right winger than Twine, a better left winger than Norris, and a better centre midfielder than Benedetti. Once we sorted those positions out, if we've got money left over, we'll then revisit the team and then go from there. Well, the first thing I did was spend 40 million on centre midfielder Javi Guerra. And what a beast he is. Only 28, he's 85 overall. Him and Emeka in the middle of the park are going to tear it up in the Prem. I'm also going to sign right winger Ernest Poku. He's not even close to being 30, to be fair, and he's already 84 overall. Right now, he's probably one of our best options for a right winger. And joining him is Spanish left winger Estanis from Barcelona, 84 overall. To be honest, guys, I've actually never heard of him, but he looks like an absolute baller. And there we go. For the combined total of £94.8 million, we signed both of these players on permanent deals. Now, we've still got 21 million to spend. It's not much, but there is one more thing that I do want to do with this money if we can afford it. I'd like to sign Carney Chukwuemeka. I mean, he's 27, 82 overall. He's got Premier League experience, and I feel like he'd do a really good job for us in that attacking midfielder position. But because he's too expensive, I'm going to throw Zach Gilson in the deal as well. I mean, he's worth 18 million on his own, so adding 20 mil on top of that, we may just be able to get him. Well, maybe not 20 mil because that's literally all we've got, so I'm offering 15 mil alongside Gilson in. If they want any more than that, I don't think this... Oh my god, Pochettino's actually accepted it. What a moron. And there he is in the UCD Dublin kit, ladies and gents. I can't believe we've just been able to pull that off. But look at the team now, guys. Dare I say, for the first time since taking charge of this team, we've literally got no weaknesses at all in that team now. I mean, to be fair, with the signings we've made this year, I should bloody hope we haven't, in all honesty. But one thing I am hoping for this year is European football, whether that be in the Champions League, Europa League, or Conference League. This team right here absolutely should be in European football next season. And thank God for that, guys. We are top 4 in the Premier League. We are finally, after 9 freaking years, got European football. Oh my god, I could cry. I'm that relieved. Bro, from next year onwards, we've legit got 5 years left to become the best team in the world. Otherwise, we've actually failed this challenge. That's how mental this video is. It's also hard to believe that in 9 years, we haven't won the FA Cup yet. We made it to round 3 this time. And it's the same story with the Carabao Cup. But the good news is we are at long last on the right track to making UCD Dublin the world's best club. club. How is UCD Dublin a better team than Hyderabad FC, but Hyderabad FC only took 10 years? I don't know, guys, it doesn't make sense, but neither do these stats, man. How do we finish inside the top 4 and our top goal scorer being Poku and Raggett with only 12 goals apiece? Then again, though, our goal difference is pants, but saying that, so is Arsenal's, Brighton's and Manchester United's. It's only City's and Newcastle's that was actually pretty decent. But the thing is, going into next season, if our budget isn't good, we've got no trump card to play. We absolutely have to be backed by the board or we're going to be in pretty serious trouble. And unfortunately, guys, we did have a lot of money, but not quite as much as I'd like. So I took matters into my own hands. I sold Terrell Malacia and also Scott Twine for the combined total of just under 40 odd million, which leaves us 127 million to spend this year, man. I'm telling you, with that kind of money, we can make a dent in the Champions League. And obviously, we got to put some of that money towards Malacia's replacement because Furlong, as decent as he is, isn't good enough for the UCL. But we also need a backup goalkeeper because, quite frankly, guys, Hermansen is literally the only goalkeeper we've got right now. So I sorted that problem out straight away. So I spent 21.5 million on Alvaro Aceves. Almost certainly butchered his name, but he's 82 overall and he's not even 30 years old yet. He's legitimately a great backup for Hermansen. But don't forget, we also need a left back. So I spent 37 mil on the dot on Bevo's lookalike. He is 30 years old, but he's 84 overall, and you cannot tell me that Miguel Gutierrez does not look like Bevo. And just like that, the starting team looks far better now, and to be fair, guys, the bench doesn't look that bad either. But we still got 64 million to spend, and if you think I'm throwing this money down the drain, you're having a laugh. Now, I'm going to do my best to sign Evan Ferguson. He's 27, 86 overall. He's a bit expensive, but he's been my target since season 1, and you better believe I'm going to try and sign him now. But like I said, he's pretty expensive, so I'm offering 50 mil alongside Mikey Raggett, who's worth 13.5 million. I know that sucks, but I'm going to take Ferguson over Raggett every single time. The question is, though, will Hoffenheim? Oh my god, they've actually accepted it. Guys, I'm not being funny. We've got a genuine shot of winning the UCL this year with Ferguson in the team now. And there he is in the UCD Dublin kit. I cannot believe it's taken us 10 years, but we finally got him. And the timing that we got him is basically perfect, as we are in the UCL for the first time of UCD Dublin in Group H alongside Napoli, Wolfsburg and Rangers. And we've had a good start to the campaign too. 3 games played, 2 wins, 1 draw, undefeated. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like a couple of trophies are heading our way this year. I mean, we definitely contenders to win the Premier League title, and if everything goes our way in the UCL, maybe we could win that too. Unfortunately, it's not our time yet to win the Premier League title, as Arsenal finished 6 points above us. But the good news is we did finish 1 place higher than last year, and we are, of course, once again in the Champions League next season. But there's more good news. We've won the FA Cup, beating Bournemouth to do it 4-0. If I'm not mistaken, this is our first trophy since winning the playoffs. But we couldn't win the Carabao Cup as Manchester City knock us out in round 4. But this is looking decent. We are through to the round of 16 after finishing 2nd in Group H. And we're in the quarters after beating Royal Antwerp 4-2 in the round of 16. But Dortmund did get the better of us in the quarters after smashing us 5-3. But check this, Dortmund got to the final and lost 4-3 to Aston Villa. I'm not being funny. If Villa can win the Champions League, we definitely can. I mean, come on, guys. This team is world class at this point, especially when you consider how far into career mode now we actually are. The stats are good as well. Poku with 25 and 7, Ferguson with 22 and 4, 11 and 10 for Emeka, 11 and 4 for Guerra, and 11 and 2 for Stanis. Every year, without fail now, we're getting closer and closer to making this team the world's best, and this year is absolute proof of that. And I think next year the board are finally going to properly back us. We're 3rd in the Premier League, we've won the FA Cup, and we finished in the quarters of the UCL. And let me tell you something, if they do properly back us, get ready, because this team will soon become the world's best. And thankfully, guys, I was right. We've got just over 142 million to spend. That is honestly amazing news. But I just wanted to show you guys just how far into career mode we actually are now. It's our 11th year in charge of UCD Dublin. Look how old Thiago Almada is now, for goodness sake. We've been in charge of this team for so long now, man. I actually think, if I'm not mistaken, this is the furthest I've ever been in career mode. We're entering uncharted territory, but that does beg the question, doesn't it? What are we going to do with this 142 million? Because quite frankly, guys, we can do pretty much anything we want with it now. And to be honest, I think we need to replace Nathan Collins. He's 32, 84 rated, granted, but that age is going to catch up with him next year. And when we're in the Champions League, we can ill afford for that to happen. And to be honest, I want to replace Chukwuemeka and drop him to the bench so we've got a bit more depth in that attacking role. He's not really done all that much for us. He's not really improved all that much for us. Honestly, I'm kind of disappointed in this transfer. And before you say, guys, no, I'm not replacing him with Thiago Almada. He's in the same situation as Nathan Collins is right now. But as I've said, we are financially absolutely fantastic, so I don't think it's going to take me long to find a suitable replacement for both Nathan Collins and Carney Chukwuemeka. And I wasn't wrong, guys. We found Tommaso Baldanzi for that attacking midfield role. He's 87 overall and he's 30 years old, which gives us a 2 to 3 year window to try our best to win the UCL before he starts going down in overall. And then there's Jared Branthwaite for that centre-back role. I know that he's 31 years old, but his contract's running out and he's 87 overall. No matter what we spend on this guy, it's going to be an absolute bargain. But overall combined, they were not cheap, as I've just spent 123.8 million to sign both of these players. I'm also signing Yusuf Barassi for absolutely nothing. We need a backup striker, and this guy looks pretty decent. And guys, I'm not being funny, but look at this team now. The backline, the midfield, the strikers up top, everywhere is absolutely phenomenal. And it fills me with confidence looking at our Champions League group stage. We're with Barca, Royal Antwerp, and Shakhtar in Group G, and realistically, it's got to be ourselves and Barca going through, hasn't it? But then again, you look at the Premier League table, and we're doing absolutely pants. But then again, so is Arsenal, Liverpool, and Tottenham Hotspur, so we're not exactly in the worst company, are we? I feel like we can do it this year, man. I mean, I can't think of a single reason why we wouldn't be able to. I mean, we signed Tommaso Baldanzi, who's far better than Carney Chukwuemeka. We've signed Jared Branthwaite, who's levels above Nathan Collins, and we've actually got a better second choice striker now. But I've done all I can. As you've clearly seen, it's now entirely up to these boys to do it on the pitch. Oh my god, I hate Man City with a passion, man. They've beaten us to the Premier League title by 1 frigging point. Why can't they just have a freaking day off? Seriously, you'd think after 11 years they'd take the foot off the gas a bit, but no, they're still as annoying as ever. But at the very least, we have won the Community Shield, beating Arsenal on penalties to do it. We've also won the FA Cup, beating Newcastle to do it. But we still can't get our hands on the Carabao Cup. Chelsea knock us out in the quarters. But then again, we did lose to the winner, so that does kind of soften the blow. But as for the UCL, I was bang on the money. Ourselves and Barca progressed through to the knockouts, while Shakhtar and Royal Antwerp get knocked out. But we just make it to the quarters after just scraping past Stade Rennais in the round of 16. And oh my god, we've beaten last year's UCL winners Villa 4-1 on aggregate. Oh my god, that is a massive statement. We could be playing the Hammers, Inter Milan, or Dortmund. Oh my god, please, please give me West Ham United. I can't believe it. We got the hardest draw out of the 3 in Inter Milan. We beat them 4-3 on aggregate, and we're playing Dortmund in the final. If I'm not mistaken as well, they knocked us out last year. This is such a good opportunity to get a bit of payback, but this is their second final in the row. If they actually lose 2 finals in the row, they're as bad as bloody England. But I've got to say, looking at that team, I don't really understand how they've made back-to-back finals. I don't know majority of their starting 11, to be honest, so it could be really good, but the players I do know are just old and washed at this point. But ours certainly aren't, ladies and gents, as Ferguson's got 35 goal contributions, 22 and 11 from Mecca, 18 and 1 for Barassi, fair play to him, 14 and 9 for Poku as well. And this is the starting 11 that 11 years after taking charge of UCD Dublin is going in to the Champions League final. I cannot believe it. It's taken us longer with Europe's worst team than the world's worst team to get to the final. I don't see how that makes sense. But we certainly won more with this team than we did with Hyderabad. We've won the playoff final in the championship, we've won 2 FA Cups, and we've also won an FA Community Shield. But now we have the chance to win the biggest trophy you can win at club level to cement UCD UCD Dublin as the world's best team. All we got to do is beat Dortmund to do it. Here's a chance here. Evan Ferguson's on the ball. Jesus Christ, Maxence Lacroix is fast. Bro, I don't think you understand how mad that is what Lacroix's just done. He is legitimately just caught up to Evan Ferguson, who's rapid like it was nothing. We're going to have difficulty against Lacroix. I'm telling you that for nothing. But here we come now. Chiara's on the ball. We're looking for that run from Stanis. He's floored his man. He's away on the left-hand side of the pitch. Okay, let's see if we can spot Evan Ferguson. Oh, we tried to feed him Buldanzi, but we just couldn't. Could hit them on the break, though. Evan Ferguson once again against Lacroix. Lacroix is not leaving them alone, but he's left an open gap in behind. Buldanzi's there. He can't get a shot off. Moving forward now, though. Bentley's going to look for Evan Ferguson. Okay, ball roll inside. We got away from our man. Near post shot. Good save, Dortmund's keeper. We're getting a chances. We just need to be a little bit more clinical. Like this, head on that. Oh, what a save. Here comes Dortmund, their first proper time in our freaking area. And look at that. Just like that, Bevo's got it covered, lad. Here come Dortmund. Another chance. Kareem the Dream Adeyemi on the 40th minute. Puts Dortmund one ahead, and I'm not going to lie to you, that is undeserved as shit. Dortmund have been in our half a combined total of about 10 minutes at best, and they take 2 shots and put it away, man. Our keeper Hermansen's let us down there. I feel like he should have saved that, but we could make amends right here. Stanis is away. Come on, Stanis, lad. Put us 1-0. Yes, come on. That is not how I wanted that shot to go, but I do not care. We turned it up in the back of the net on the stroke of our time. We equalise. Why is he taking us conceding to actually be able to put one away, man? We should be about 3-0 up at this point without conceding. Very good goal, though. Good work from Guerra. Stanis in behind. Nobody even close to him. Maxence Lacroix tries to get close, but he wasn't quick enough that time, was he? Come though now, Gutierrez is going to try and find... Oh, that's a beautiful bit of space. Evan Ferguson put it away. No! I would have put my house on you scoring that. That was the chance right there, ladies and gents. If we lose this game, it's because we didn't put that chance away. Dortmund are now coming forward with a little bit of a vengeance. Oh, no, I don't like that. Great save, Hermansen. Dortmund have the corner now. We need to get this away and try to hit them on the break. That is a phenomenal clearance. Oh, my God. And with that comes a very tasty-looking counter-attack with Poku away from his man. He's got the pace. Has he got the clinicalness to put us 2-1 up? Oh, my God, with 15 minutes to go, he's actually been able to do it. He ran the entire length of the pitch on the break, and he puts us ahead in the UCL final. Oh my God, he has got balls made of frigging steel. I cannot believe he's actually just been able to do that, man. We are 15 minutes away from winning the Champions League. We just don't need anything stupid at the back, man. No silly errors, nothing stupid. Just defend for our frigging lives. We just don't need anything stupid here. Ismaiah is on the ball. Jared Branthwaite is there. Oh, no, no, no. This is exactly what I'm not after. He's got a bit of open room. He's going to put it away. I freaking knew it. They were playing that stupid, fancy AI bullshit football. It draws you out because it's just human error to do it, and they take advantage of it. Oh, man, it looks so bad from there, but there was literally nothing I could freaking do. I hate this freaking Dortmund team, man. We do have a little bit of a chance here, though. We're working this ball around really well. Oh, my God. And Mecca is going to feed him Poku to win us the game. Oh, my God. Poku's actually done it. Not only has he equalised for us to make it freaking 2-1. No, he didn't equalise. He put us 2-1 up. He's actually just won us the game. Oh, my days. I am so freaking relieved. We could have taken this with a Mecca, but I wanted Poku to do it because he's already done it once for us. My freaking God, it is almost over. Our mission with UCD Dublin is almost freaking complete. Please, for God's sake, nothing stupid now. Nothing stupid at the back. I tell you what, I'm not even taking chances. I'm going to snap everybody's legs off. And he's freaking worked. We've actually done it. It has taken us 11 long freaking years, but we've made Europe's worst team the best in the freaking world. I have not been this happy since Cody beat Roman to win the freaking title at Mania 40. We finally freaking done it. Get in! And after what felt like an absolute eternity, both Hyderabad FC and UCD Dublin are officially complete, leaving us with only one more team to win the Champions League with, and that is Forest Green Rovers. And at this point, I was really hoping that these guys weren't going to be as tough as the previous two teams. However, that just didn't happen. So here is the default starting 11 we've loaded into with the worst team in England, and I've got to say, whilst it's better than Hyderabad and UCD Dublin, that does not make it a good team in the slightest. But having thoroughly gone through the squad up, ladies and gents, I have spotted a couple of players that do look pretty promising. Like centre midfielder Charlie McCann, only 21, 62 overall. He looks like a very decent player. There's Marcel Lavigne, only 22, 61 overall, also looks like a pretty solid player too. And there's Kyle McAllister and also Jordan Garrick, who both look very good players too. But as you can see from the contract situation, ladies and gents, we sorted out the loan moves. Everybody who's out on loan from us is back at the club, and everybody who's on loan to us is back at their parent club. And weirdly enough, that's given us an extra $1 million to work with in season 1, so we've now got $3 million in total for our first year in charge of Forest Green Rovers. But despite the budget being increased, it is going to take a long time before we make these guys the world's best team, but we've got to take this one step at a time. And the first step is putting my spin on things, so I'm using the 4-4-2 flat formation. I've looked at this squad and I think overall this is the formation that suits our team the best. And I think for the first season or two, we're going to park the bus, guys. We are the worst team in England after all. We've got to defend like mad and hopefully try to hit teams on the break. And after quickly meddling around with the team, this is, in my opinion, our strongest starting 11 that we can feel prior to making any signings, that is. But before we think about making any signings, there's a couple of things I want to do. Firstly, I want to sell and loan out every single player I've got on the transfer list. Once we sort this out, then we can focus on bringing more talent into the team. And for the most part, as you can see, I've managed to get rid of pretty much every single player I wanted to on that transfer list. Unfortunately though, the budget hasn't really budged at all. $3 million is all we've got to spend, but that is still pretty decent for a League 2 side. We've just got to now figure out where we're going to put that money, because if we spend it right, we can definitely take Forest Green Rovers from the bottom of League 2 to maybe a mid-table finish. Now, for starters, we absolutely need a better keeper than Jamie Searle. I mean, he's 54 overall, man. This guy's just woeful. I also want to bolster our midfield. McCann is a decent player, as I've already said, but Maddox, on the other hand, I don't really want this guy in the team. And finally, I'm going to bring in a centre-back, because I'm looking at the centre-backs we've already got right now, and all three of them are absolute garbage. But we've got to be careful, guys. Not only are we the worst team in England, we've only got $3 million to spend, so we've got to be pretty damn strategic on who we spend this money on. But I think the first signing we've made is absolutely spot on, as we've spent $420,000 on goalkeeper Toby Savin. He's still only 22 years old and he's 62 overall. He's not amazing by any stretch of the imagination, but for 420k, I think he's a bit of a bargain. Now, as for the centre half I'm after, I'm going for Anja Husu from POW FC. He's 19, he's 6'2", 63 overall. He looks like a bit of a monster in the making. And following him is Santiago Castaneda, an American midfielder from MSV Duisburg. I mean, at only 18, he's a very good player already, and signing him alongside Husu may just secure us a mid-table finish after all. And for the combined total of £2 million, we signed both of these youngsters on 5-year deals to conclude Season 1's transfer window. And looking at the team now, guys, I don't know about you lot, but I definitely feel like we ain't finishing bottom of League 2. If we do, I'll be absolutely gobsmacked. I mean, in fairness, we haven't got off to a good start in League 2. We've lost our bloody first game in charge. However, if this team performs like I think it can, and it improves like I think it should do, we should by the end of this season look pretty good going into our second year in charge. And you know what, guys? Judging by the looks of these stats, I think we've done alright. I mean, especially when you consider the fact we played a very defensive tactical vision this season. And on top of that, the individual development is looking pretty solid as well. Everybody's come on leaps and bounds. However, on paper, they don't look happy in the slightest. Literally not a single player is happy in the starting team, so it's got to make you wonder how we've actually done in the league. Well, this is bizarre. Everybody's unhappy, yet we finished just outside the playoffs. They should be absolutely over the moon with that. They've gone from rock bottom to outside the playoffs, for goodness sake. Maybe they're not happy about the contracts or game time, but one thing's for certain, they can't be unhappy with how we've done in League 2, man, because we've done phenomenally well. But in the FA Cup, it's a different story. We crash out in round 1. But we did have a decent Carabao Cup run, making it to round 4 before getting knocked out by Man United. You know what? I will definitely take that. But we dropped to staying Bolkett in the BSM trophy, finishing rock bottom of our group. I tell you what, I'll make you a deal. Unless we make it past round 3 of a competition, I'm just not going to show you. But overall, I think we've had a very successful first year in charge. We're just outside the playoffs when in real life they finished rock bottom, and we made it to round 4 of the Carabao Cup, for goodness sake. However, I feel like if we are to get from our position to the playoffs, maybe even automatically promoted, we are going to have to switch things up next year. For starters, we're dropping the part of the boss tactical vision man. We're too good to be playing defensively. And on top of that, we need a stronger right back than Robertson and maybe a stronger striker than Omotoye up top. And I personally think once we sort those 3 things out, we take Forest Green Rovers out of League 2. But before we go any further, guys, if you're enjoying me rebuilding the worst team in England right now, be sure to leave this video a big old thumbs up and smash that subscribe button if you're new. Well, ladies and gents, we've just arrived into Season 2 of Forest Green Rovers, and we've just made, in my opinion, an absolutely game-changing signing. As I've just signed Bristol City striker Seb Palmer Holden for only 990,000. He's only 20, already 63 rated. I've got a strong suspicion he's going to absolutely tear it up in League 2. And that still leaves us quite a bit of money to spend, 3 million in total. And like I said last year, I want a stronger right back than Robertson, but I also this time want a stronger centre back than Moore Taylor. He's not got much left in his tank to give, and he's only 64 overall. I reckon we could find a stronger centre back in League 1 or maybe even in League 2. And I was absolutely bang on. Radinho Bolkett is better than Moore Taylor in every way imaginable. He's in his mid-20s, 69 overall. He is absolutely rapid and he's 6'4". We are absolutely signing this guy. But it's come to my attention that we don't need a new right back for now. We've actually got one in Fan Katie Dabo. I mean, as you can see, he's 63 overall. Granted, he's 28, but he's growing at a very quick rate. And that means we'll have money left over once we sign Bolkett, and I'm not in any position to throw that kind of money down the drain whilst I'm after a promotion. So instead of going for a right back, I'm going for a right midfielder instead, because Kyle McAllister, as you can clearly see, it'll take him 47 weeks to become a better right midfielder, and quite frankly, when we're after promotion, we can't have that. And believe me, guys, I have found the perfect replacement. Tom Bloxham from Shrewsbury's only 20, already 65 overall, and I've got a sneaky little suspicion we could turn him into our endgame right midfielder. And that wraps up Season 2's transfer window, as I spent a combined total of 2.8 million on both of these players. And looking at this team now, guys, I absolutely believe we've got a shot at promotion. It won't be automatic. If we do get promoted, it'll be via the playoffs. And considering the fact that last year with a far weaker team than what we've got now, we just missed out on the playoffs, I feel like this year it's absolutely guaranteed that we make it inside it this time. But I was wrong, guys. We didn't make it inside the playoffs. Instead, we are automatically promoted. We only just missed out on winning the League 2 title by goal difference as well. I can't put into words how amazed I am that we've actually pulled this off, because there's one thing I forgot to do. And that was to change our tactics from part of the boss to something else. But you've got to bear in mind, we've just got promoted automatically, convincingly as well, from League 2 to League 1. So you know what that old saying is, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. However, the best we did in cup competitions this year was round 2 of the FA Cup before we got knocked out by Crewe Alexander. So that just goes to show how poorly we did domestically. But guys, I'm looking at this team right now, and believe me when I say I'm the furthest thing away from being surprised that we've been automatically promoted now. I mean, Bulk has gone up to 72 overall. Ahusu is 72 rated himself. 71 overall blocks. And he's gone up by 6 ratings this year. What a bloody signing. And he was actually our top goal contributor, as well as he got 20 goals, 9 assists in 52 games. What a debut for Tom Bloxham. And the craziest part about all this, prior to this season beginning, I thought for sure the best we get was the playoffs. But now look at us, automatically promoted to League 1. And to be honest, guys, I'm looking at who's in League 1 right now, and I'm not scared at all. In fact, I'm quite confident that if we make the right signings, we get the right amount of budget, we could get back-to-back promotions. But whether that's the case or it isn't, one thing is for certain, we are officially a League 1 team now. But unfortunately, that hasn't affected our budget, as we've only got 4 mil to spend. But to be fair, we can do a lot with 4 mil in League 1. And I'm looking at this team right now, guys, and for the most part, it is looking very solid. But there are 2 players that I would like to replace. And those players are Lavinia, our left back, and our right back, Dabo. They are the 2 weakest players in the starting 11. And once we bring in better fullbacks, we may secure secure our spot in the playoffs in League One this year. And I think I found a decent left back, guys. Steven Sessegnon from Wigan Athletic, in his mid-20s, 69 overall, got potential to grow quite a bit as well. This guy looks like a beast. And following him is Peter Kioso from Rotherham United. He's the exact same age as Steven Sessegnon and got the same ability level as well. And there we go, guys. For 2.9 million combined, we signed both of these players on 4-year deals. And with those signings, that defensive lineup looks so much stronger going into League One, man. I genuinely feel like we've got a shot at getting promotion again this year, man. I know that sounds far-fetched, but you never know. I mean, last year I only called that we'd get into the playoffs, but we actually got automatically promoted, and here we are in League One. And let's be honest, it's not the end of the world if we don't get promoted, guys. We just regroup, see what went wrong, and then improve upon it in Season 4, and then hope for the best. But guys, our promotion dreams are still alive as we're in the playoffs alongside Sheffield Wednesday, Blackpool, and Wrexham. But never mind the playoffs for a second, look at the freaking table. We legitimately missed out on automatic promotion by 6 goals. Are you taking the mick? I am so gutted about that, man. If we don't get promotion via the playoffs now, that would be the biggest kick in the balls going. But hang on, we've beaten Wrexham in the semi-finals 3-2, and we're playing Blackpool in the final. And looking at that team, they've got a couple of decent players like Joseph up top, Casey at the back, but I don't think that team holds a candle to ours. I mean, look at the state of that starting 11. Never mind the championship, some of these players belong in the Prem. But let's not jump the gun. We've got to get to the championship first. Oh, we thank you! Blocks him in the 50th minute. What a player he's been for us since we signed him last year, man. He's got us promotion to the championship. And it just gets better as we made it to the quarters of the BSM trophy before getting knocked out by Lincoln. It's a bit of a shame that we didn't win this whilst we could, but you know what? I don't really care. We've got bigger fish to fry now. And that fish in particular is the championship, and looking at the team still in the championship next year, it's not going to be as easy as League One. But then again, you look at this team, you bring in a stronger left midfielder and a stronger goalie, and we may just scrape another playoff position. Especially when we've got Tom Bloxham in the team. He's got 20 goals and 11 assists from 57 games this year, man. When we're parking the bus and he's a right midfielder, that is actually insane. But going into Season 4, there is that big question. Can Bloxham and this Forest Green Rovers team do what they've done this year, just in a tougher league? Well, we're going to find out, guys, because we're now into Season 4 in our first year in the Championship. One really good year of football away from the top flight of English football. And we've got our best budget yet, guys, 8 million in total. However, not all of this money's come from the board. As you can see, guys, I have gone ahead and sold quite a few players that I'm just not going to use from now on. And altogether, guys, we've got quite a decent amount of money for them. And I think if we spend this correctly, we legitimately stand a decent chance of getting back-to-back-to-back promotions. Now, I said last year I want a stronger left midfielder and I'd like a better goalkeeper than Savin. But having gone through the squad up, I'd like a better striker than Matthew Stevens. I mean, we've got Palmer Holden up top who's killing it, and I feel like to get the best out of Palmer Holden, we need someone better than Matthew Stevens. So in hindsight, it's a good job I sold all these players, because quite frankly, we're going to need all the money we can get our hands on in order to pull this off. Well, starting back to front, I found Obed Nakambadio from Millwall. He's 6'3", 23, 73 overall, and his contract's running out, and we all know what that means. And following him is Argentinian left midfielder Mateo Sanabria, who's only 22, but he's 72 overall, and quite frankly, he looks like an absolute beast in the making. And after spending a total sum amount of 6 million combined on both of these players, they now play for us. But now we only have 1 mil to find a striker, and frankly, I don't like our chances of finding a striker with 1 million better than Stevens. So I think it's time we head to the free agents list to see if it can't bail us out. And it absolutely has. Mathis Ablin is 23, 75 overall. Yet you better believe I'm signing this guy up. And with the free agent signing of Mathis Ablin, that concludes our first transfer window in the Championship. And hopefully it's our last transfer window in the Championship, because this team, quite frankly, I do feel like is strong enough to get into the playoffs. Don't get me wrong, I know that the Championship's our biggest test yet, because we're coming up against teams that have just been in the Premier League. However, at this point, I know better than to doubt the boys. Honestly, I'm backing them to get promotion once again. Guys, I'm absolutely gutted. We were so close to the playoffs, man. Literally 1 point and 1 goal difference away. But unfortunately, as a newly promoted team, it was just too much to ask. But I am proud as punch of Forest Green Rovers. If this is what we can do as a newly promoted side in the Championship, imagine what we can do next year. And this time, we've actually had a great FA Cup run, making it to round 4 before getting knocked out by Leeds. But we've dropped an absolute stinker in the Carabao Cup. But I'm looking at this team and I can't help but feel proud of them, man. As a newly promoted side, just missing out on the playoffs. Do you know how mad that is? And look at these stats, man. Bloxham once again being our top goal contributor with 31 goal contributions in 50 games. 19 and 2 for Matthew Stevens. Why is he getting game time over Adley? But Seb Palmer Holden got 18 and 4, 12 and 2 for Mathis Adley, and 5 and 10 assists for Charlie McCann himself. I feel like next year we need another clear out, guys, because there's certain players in this team that's getting game time that shouldn't be getting game time, and quite frankly, I reckon that let us down a bit this year. I mean, for goodness sake, we brought in a new keeper to replace Toby Savin, and Toby Savin ended up playing 27 more freaking games than him. And it's the same story up top. We brought in Ablin to replace Stevens, and Matthew Stevens ended up playing 12 more games than him anyway. Like I said, we need a massive clear out. We need to get as much money as possible and throw everything at this team so that next year we don't beat around the bush with the playoffs, we get automatic promotion. And as you can probably tell, guys, as we enter season 5, I've been a little bit busy. I have sold a lot of players that quite frankly we don't need, or quite frankly I don't want anymore. And because of this, we've got 14 million in our budget to spend, and we've got to get promoted with this kind of money, man. If we don't, I don't deserve to be in charge of Forest Green Rovers. Now, because we've just sold McCann, we need a stronger midfielder than Maddox, because Maddox just isn't a midfielder. I'm confident in leaving in this starting 11. And I'm also going for a stronger left back than Steven Sessegnon, because as you can see, it'll take him 60 weeks to become a better left back. And if we are serious about promotion this year, this is the last thing we need to worry about if we do get it. So with that in mind, I just spent 8 million on a Premier League experienced left back in Brighton's very own Alex Valley. He's 76 overall at 23 years old. Not only is this guy far better than Sessegnon, he's still got a lot of time to improve as well. And this leaves us 5 mil to find a midfielder, but don't worry, I have found the perfect replacement for Charlie McCann. And his name is Bobby Clark. He plays for Sheffield United. He's only 22 years old, but he's 73 overall. And quite frankly, guys, I feel like with the right training plan, we can develop this guy into a really good midfielder. And just like that, for 3.8 million, not only have we signed Bobby Clark, but we've wrapped up Season 5's transfer window. And as I'm looking at the team right now, I'm feeling fairly confident that we've done enough to get out of the Championship and into the Prem now. It's not going to be easy though, guys. Bournemouth are in the Championship, so are Leicester City, and so are Southampton. But this time we've made the relevant improvements. We've had a massive clear out, meaning that everybody in this starting 11 should be the players that are playing every single game this year. And if that is the case, hopefully this is our time to get promoted. And guys, it just might be, as we are in the playoffs this time alongside Norwich, Southampton and Bournemouth. But very quickly, look at the bloody top two. Leicester with 107 points winning the Championship, with Sheffield United getting 102 points finishing second. Fair play. But guys, it's good news for us, as in the semis we've beaten Southampton 2-1 on aggregate, and we are playing Norwich City in the playoff final. Now looking at that team, I don't know enough of their players to make an actual judgment on if we're going to comfortably beat them or if they're going to annihilate us. But I can see our team, and I know I say this quite often, but that team is a Premier League side waiting to be a Premier League side. Let's just hope that they can get the job done and get the dub to get promoted. Yes, we have! Oh my god, Omar Toye in the 85th minute's done it for us. What an absolute legend. Bloxham got a brace in the first half. Of course it was Bloxham. Omar Toye finished it off in the 85th. We are officially Premier League with Forest Green Rovers. Get in. But I'm not surprised, because it's like I've already said, that team right there was a Premier League side waiting to become one, and finally it's happened. But we're still a fair while away from being an FA Cup winner, as this time we only made it to round 4. And it's safe to say that the less we talk about the Carabao Cup, the better. But as you can see from the stats, it's once again Tom Blackson with 18 goals, 9 assists in 50 games, being our top goal contributor. By the way, what a signing he's been since he's joined us. He's been amazing every year. And we're going to need him to be amazing for at least one more year, as we're with the big boys of England now. Man City, Liverpool, not the bottle jobs, Arsenal, Arsenal, and of course Chelsea. And granted, I've said this is a Prem side waiting to be one, but that doesn't mean we're going to do comfortably well in the Premier League next year. We do need the budget to be on our side, and we do need to make some signings, otherwise we will struggle in our first year in it. But here we are, guys, 6 years after taking over Forest Green Rovers, we've got them into the top flight of English football. But we've been shafted by the board, guys, because with that promotion hasn't come promotion money. We've only got 31 million to spend. That's nowhere near enough. And yes, you could say we could sell a couple of players on, but all the players that we could sell for the amount of money that we need are our best players right now, and frankly, I'm not willing to do that. I feel like the best course of action is to put all this 31 mil into one really good signing. And I know this is going to sound harsh, but I feel like replacing Nkambadio with a proper, well-rounded, experienced goalkeeper is absolutely what we need to do. I mean, our back four this year are going to get annihilated. There's no questions about that, but if we have a proper keeper in between the sticks, it may not matter all that much. And I think Gavin Bazunu is perfect. He's 82 overall already, in his mid-20s, so there's room for improvement still, and he's already playing for Everton, which means he's got that Premier League experience that, quite frankly, we desperately need in the team. But he wasn't cheap in the slightest. In fact, he's our most expensive player to date, as we've just spent 27 million to sign Gavin Bazunu on a 5-year deal. And he is hoping that Bazunu can indeed help us survive our first year in the Premier League, because quite frankly, if he doesn't, that's just a waste of 20 odd million, isn't it? Well, it's safe to say he's not a waste of money, and please don't ask me how we pulled this off. We are top 6 as a newly promoted side in the Prem. Now, looking at this team, obviously, we've got our strengths. We've got Sanabria, we've got Palmer Holden, Bloxham, we've got Bazunu, but that surely is not enough to carry us to a top 6 finish. All I can say is the 4-4-2 flat, married with the part the bus tactical vision, is genuinely overpowered as hell, and it's taken me the entirety of FC24 to realise this. I mean, look at this, we made it to the quarters of the FA Cup, just losing out to West Ham, for goodness sake. But it's not overpowered enough to get us past round 2 of the Carabao Cup. But man, I'm looking at these stats. Bobby Clark, Sanabria, Palmer Holden, Ablin, fair play, boys. And I've just realised as well, top 6 football gives us Europa League football. In our first season in the Prem, we've qualified for Europe. That is absolute insanity. The problem is though, we're not ready for Europe, and if the board don't give us the money we need to actually compete in Europe, we're going to get absolutely annihilated in Season 7. It's official, we're going to get annihilated. We've only been given 23 million. Forest Green Rovers board of directors, are you taking the piss, lads? What are you playing at? I know what the problem is. They're not striving high enough. They only want a mid-table finish and for us to get to the round of 16 in the FA Cup. Honestly, after what we did last year, you'd think their expectations should be a little bit higher. And before you start thinking it, no, I'm not selling any one of these players, because quite frankly, we're not in a position to. I mean, for example, if we sold Bloxham, we've got to replace his position and then spread that money across the entire team. It just isn't enough money. So somehow we've got to figure out a way to utilise this 23 million to its absolute fullest and not get our backsides handed to us in the Europa League. Now, I've given this some thought, and I'm going to put this money into our back line, guys, especially with us being in the Europa League. Bazunu's going to need some help. So I've gone ahead and signed yet another Brighton defender, Igor, for 16 million. I know he's 31 years old, so we won't get many years out of him, but he's 81 overall, and he'll give us that security we need at the back. I've also dived into the free agencies because, quite frankly, we need a bit of depth, so I'm going to sign Jadal Katongo, and I'm also going to sign Tarek Buchman as well. And there we go, the team looks like this now. I mean, we're definitely not going to be doing what we did last year. That was a complete and utter fluke. However, I would like to think we can be at least a bit competitive. I definitely think signing Igor will help us do that, especially in the Europa League as well. And to be honest, if we have a good showing in the Europa League, the board may actually take notice of that and actually back us next year. I mean, it's got to happen at some point, hasn't it? We can't keep going how we are right now, doing the bare minimum with this team and expecting a lot from it. We need backing from the board if we are to take this team to that next level. Maybe we don't though, because it wasn't a fluke last year. We are once again in the top 6, and if it wasn't for goal difference, we'd have actually got Champions League football next season. I don't know how we're pulling this off, man. The Port the Bus partnered with the 4-4-2 flat must be overpowered as hell. To be fair though, this time we did only make it to round 3 of the FA Cup. And whilst we did get to round 4 of the Carabao Cup, we got knocked out by the bottle jobs. We are moving swiftly on. And we're moving on to to the Europa League, where we were in Group F alongside FCSB, a team whose name I'm not even going to try and pronounce, and Victoria Plizen, and as you can see, we comfortably made it through. But Monaco stop us in the prelim round in a penalty shootout. That's bloody gutting, man. Come on. I don't understand how we're pulling this off. We're a good team, don't get me wrong, but we're not top 6 good just yet. Oh. But then again, as you can tell from the stats, our front four are bagging goals for fun. 26 and 5 for Palmer Holden, 20 and 6 for Abilene, 11 and 10 for Sanabria, and 9 and 9 for Bloxham. Surely, though, this means that next year we're going to get back by the board. Back-to-back top 6 finishes, prelim round of the Europa League, and we made it to round 4 of the Carabao Cup as well. I mean, we were literally 1 point away from playing Champions League football for Season 8, man. If the board don't back us next year, I want new board of directors, man, because these lot are a joke. But thankfully, it's taken 8 years, but the board have finally backed us. We've got 95 million to spend. Thank the Lord for that. We can now finally start elevating Forest Green Rovers to that next level. Imagine how good this team's going to look once that 95 million's been spent. But guys, I'm going to take this opportunity to get as much money together as humanly possible now that the board have backed us. I'm putting Katongo on the transfer list alongside Buckman and, of course, Castaneda. I mean, once these three have all sold, hopefully we'll have like 120 to 150 million in our budget. And if that is the case, all we need to do is spend it right, and we've got UCL football next year guaranteed. So guys, I managed to sell Katongo for 25.8 million and Buttman for 13.4 million, but Castaneda really did not want to get sold. And it wasn't for the lack of trying. Liverpool accepted, Chelsea accepted, Athletic Bilbao accepted. It's just this little prick did not want to move. But regardless, we've now got 130 million to spend, and hopefully this will be enough to get us into the Champions League next year. And I think it's obvious where I want to put that money, guys. I want a new right back, I want a new centre-back, and I definitely want to replace this little twerp in the midfield too. And the centre-back I'm going for is phenomenal, guys. Riccardo Calafiori from Mainz. He's 28, 85 overall. I mean, he's just going to elevate our defence to that next level, isn't he? And following him is Lucharel Gertrude, who's currently playing for Brentford of all teams, but he's 30, 84 overall, and exactly what we need at the back. And there we go, for the combined total of £84.4 million, both Gertrude and Calafiori now play for Forest Green Rovers, leaving us 40 million to replace Castaneda in that midfield, and I have found the perfect replacement. Patrick Herman, who's playing for Everton, he's 19, 79 overall. He's a bit expensive, however, I have found a way to get rid of Castaneda because I'm going to throw him into this deal as well. And with Castaneda and 25 mil, I'm pretty sure Deitch is going to go for this. I could be wrong though. What's he going to say? Nope, he's agreed. There we go. Lovely jubbly. We finally got rid of him. And there he is in the Forest Green Rovers kit. Ladies and gents, he's also an exciting prospect. We've hit the jackpot with Patrick Herman. However, whilst the starting 11 is looking absolutely phenomenal, our bench on the other hand in squad depth is looking a little bit bare, to say the least. So I've gone on the free agents list and scouted a whole bunch of players purely for squad depth. I'm going to sign all these guys up and make sure that our bench is actually filled with some decent quality at the very least. And just like that, look at the improvement on our bench. I know that the players that we brought in aren't amazing, but they're certainly better than what we once had. Something tells me this year is going to be our most successful one yet, man. If the last 2 years we've got back-to-back top 6 finishes, hopefully this year is finally the season we scrape into that top 4. And we finally done it! We are inside the top 4 by 2 points. Ladies and gents, Forest Green Rovers from next year onwards will be playing UCL football. Get in! That took us way too freaking long, but you know what? Better late than never. We've also topped our Europa League group stage, man. That is a very good sign. And I was absolutely right about that. We freaking won the Europa League as well, beating Atletico Madrid to do it. That's a massive statement. Ladies and gents, we have become the real deal in Europe, man. I'm telling you this for nothing. Next year in the Champions League, we're going to be the dark horse. I mean, look at these stats, for goodness sake. 25 and 3 for Palmer Holden, 21 and 3 for Abilene, 10 and 13 for Bloxham, and 9 and 10 for Bobby Clark. What's blown my mind as well, guys, we've done all this with the most defensive and most negative tactic possible. The 4-4-2 partner with the part of the bus is OP as hell. It is official. The big question though going into season 9 is, can we do it in the Champions League? I mean, if Arsenal can win the freaking Champions League beating City to do it, we've certainly got it in us to do it as well. Especially especially now that the board is officially behind us. If they give us a lot of money next year, we're definitely going to make it quite far in the UCL. And we've been given a lot of money, guys, 133 million overall. I mean, to be fair, we have sold Igor for 12.5 million purely because he's 33 years old. We're not going to get much more out of him, are we? But with that kind of money, we can legitimately turn Forest Green Rovers into a contender to win the UCL, and I'm not even exaggerating when I say that. Because in my opinion, we just need two positions sorting. First, we need a stronger centre-half than Anja Husu, and we need a better centre midfielder than Bobby Clark. And once those two positions are sorted out, I absolutely feel like we are ready to take on the UCL. And guys, I'm not mucking around at all. I'm going for Archie Gray from Roma. Only 25, but already that good. And following him is centre-back Coney De Winter from Wolves. He's still only 29 years old, but he's 85 rated, and he's going to take us to that next level defensively. And just like that, for the total sum amount of 124 million, we signed both of these players on 4-year deals. And this is the God's honest truth. I absolutely feel like we stand a chance to win the UCL this year, man. We are so balanced everywhere on the pitch. I mean, there's literally no reason why we can't do it first time. I mean, we should at least make it out of the group stage, as we're in Group C alongside Dortmund, Shakhtar and Bodo Glimt. Literally everything is going in our favour so far in Season 9, man. I've at least done all I can. It's now up to these boys to do it on the pitch. And guys, I cannot believe it. We're officially the best team in England. We've won the Premier League by 2 points. Get in! I mean, it's only taken us 9 years to do it, but like I've said before, better late than never, isn't it? We've, however, had a nightmare in the FA Cup, losing 2-0 to bloody Millwall in round 3. And we lost to Brentford in round 4 of the Carabao Cup. Honestly, we might have won the Premier League, but this just isn't good enough. But this definitely is. We've topped Group C pretty damn easily in the end. And we've easily got past Sevilla in the round of 16. And we've beaten Newcastle in the quarters. We could be playing Man City, Arsenal or Bayern. Out of those three teams, I really do not know who I prefer to come up against. I can't believe it. We're in the final after beating Man City 4-3 on aggregate. We may actually do it the first time we're in this competition. I mean, we are playing Bayern in the final. That's not going to be an easy game, but it's not like we've got a bad team, is it? But then again, theirs isn't a bad team either. Look at the state of that. Then again, that back four isn't exactly amazing, so that could be our way in, especially with how well our strikers have been playing. Look at this, man. 33-4 for Palmer Holden, 25-2 for Abley, 19-7 for Bloxham, and 13-3 for Herman. And we've also got to shout Matteo Sanabria out. 24 assists this year. That's phenomenal. And so is the team going into the Champions League final against Bayern. I can't believe we've done so well with such a defensive-minded attitude. A 4-4-2 flat with part of the boss tactics is overpowered as hell. And I'm very aware that we haven't won many trophies up to this point, but we have won playoff finals in the Championship and in League One, and most recently we've won the Premier League. But now we have the chance to win an even bigger trophy at club level, the Champions League. All we got to do is beat the Juggernauts from Germany to do it. These tiles on the ball. That is a phenomenal interception. De Winter, what a defender, lad. Here comes Tell once again. Once again, Gertrude, fair play. We're defending well. I'll say this though, we're not attacking well. This 4-4-2 flat part of the bus tactical vision might be good defensively, but attacking wise, it is absolutely dog shit. But here we come. Actually, that's our first attack of the game, and it's the first freaking goal of the game. What a finish! That was our free agent signing from God knows how long ago now. Ablin, what a goal to put us 1-0 off. Just as I was slagging off the formation and tactics, it comes in clutch for us. Beautiful timing. Sanabria is on the ball now. Look at the space he's got down the left-hand side of the pitch. We're going to utilise this space to all we've got. Oh my God, we could cut this back. That could be an amazing goal. That is a phenomenal save. Bloxham is on the ball. I did not realise how quick he was, or how clumsy he was, to be fair. What was that? But here we are in the second half. We are 1 goal there, but that could change any time. Oh my days. Oh no, what am I doing? What is that defending, you absolute moron? You did the bloody odd bit. You intercepted him. You freaking let him get the ball off you there because you're a donkey, and you freaking concede because of it. Oh, I can't get over that, man. What was that for defending? Here they come once again on the attack. Nico Williams, and that is 2-1. Oh my God, Bayern Munich have just torn us apart for fun there. Honestly, I think I'd have preferred to play City in the final than Bayern, because Bayern are another level at the minute. But it's now our turn to attack. Now that we've got Sanabria on the ball, we've got Ikazurimi. Look at this. This could be 2-1. Oh, that's a great start. But here we've got Palmer Holden on the ball. We're going to cut this inside once again. We've got a bit of room on the left foot. Look at that for a goal. I don't even know who that is, but that was a phenomenal finish. I think that is once again Abilene. Phenomenal work from Palmer Holden on the right-hand side of the pitch. Abilene's left foot, though. What a rifle on him. All square once again. There's literally nothing between us at the minute, man. Bayern Munich and ourselves are so evenly matched. Here comes Nico Williams once again using that pace. We also have... Oh, my God. Look at that. Truda, please put a foot in. Thank you. Oh my days. Nico Williams. Jesus Christ above. Almost ended me right there. Oh, that's a beautiful ball. Abilene, he's one-on-one with the keeper. He's slotted it away for his hat-trick. 5 minutes to go as well. I've just realised it's in the 84th minute. Ladies and gents, is that the goal that wins us the Champions League? Oh my God, we just messed up a bit of play, but Abilene, right space, right spot, right time. Get in the back of their net, son. But we've got to defend now. Oh my God, the Winter, that was amazing. Blocks him, is coming forward now. He's past his man. He's coming forward down the right-hand side of the pitch. Can we get a third to once and for all seal the deal for this game? No, we freaking can't because the defender got a foot in, but that should be it. That is it. Mission accomplished with Forest Green Rovers. We have officially made England's worst team the world's best. But let me tell you, that was not easy. 9 years in total it took us to get them from rock bottom of League 2 to the top of the bleeding world, but eventually we pulled it off. And now that we've won the Champions League with Forest Green Rovers, that officially means we've completed FC 24's most difficult challenge, and I can safely say I am not doing this again in any type of hurry. But if you did enjoy this challenge and want to see more stuff like this, be sure to leave this video a big old thumbs up and smash that subscribe button if you're new around here. But until the next video tomorrow, you may as well click right here because this is an absolute banger as well.